Hello and welcome back to yet another episode of Lost Ox Media. As always, I'd like to thank you on joining me for yet another week of debauchery, where we make you take a second look at what you just watched. We have a lot of good jamokes on the docket for this week, so as always, I will not hold you too much longer. Let's get into a little bit of music and jump right into it. All right. So who do we have on the docket for this week? We got the MrBeast games as the replacement for the week segment, the What's Eating Ethan Klein segment. We're going to see just how low people are willing to go for a smidge of cash. Then we get to see Joe Rogan completely cuck out Tim Dillon on his own podcast. This one's going to be interesting because the whole podcast takes place on Joe's set. This like a guy is like a fucking hermit crab. You're never going to see him completely out of his shell. Then we get to see a little passerby video. We got Shane Gillis acting like a 5-year-old kid fighting over a shotgun in the middle of a Taco Bell drive-thru. This one's going to be funny. Then we got Chris DiStefano acting like a complete drunken bitch on his own podcast, Chrissy Chaos. He talks about his rehashing of the History Hyenas podcast with Giannis Pappas, and they talk about how they did an episode with Joe Rogan that has not aired yet. Trust me, I've been keeping an eye out for it. Then we have the introduction of Stavros Halkias and Joe List to the Lost Ox Jamokes universe. Let's give it up for those two. Stavi being an unfunny fat fuck, and Joe List being an unfunny string-beamed white dude. We're going to get some good time codes out of that. So, let's get into it on this fine episode of Lost Ox Media. Before we jump into the Beast games, I want to show you guys this clip that I ended up finding online of this I Show Speed character. You guys familiar with that guy? This I Show Speed dude, he's like one of those streamers that's in like the Kai Cenat universe. You know, Kai Cenat, Aiden Ross, Neon, those guys, you know what I mean? So I Show Speed and Kai, they're doing this streaming marathon where they're playing Fortnite every day until they end up winning a ranked match. Now, during these live streams, I Show Speed, I guess, introduced his girlfriend to the stream for the first time ever. So people were kind of like, whoa, man, who the fuck's that hot bitch, bro? So they started asking questions about it. So naturally, these guys got to interact with the chat. They got to start talking girlfriend biz, right? Now, I don't give a shit about none of that. I'm sure you don't either. But during this time where Kai starts asking I Show Speed questions about his girlfriend, Speed starts trying to show off in front of her. And this is where things go a little south for him. Check this out.
Like, what's different about her?
Say if I'm having a bad day.
Right.
Like I'm having a shitty day.
Right.
I can talk to her and I feel better.
Right.
You know? And I can talk to her about anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, and as being in a relationship, I feel like if you can talk to somebody and they can make you feel good with talking to them, that's valid.
That's somebody for you.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, bro,
that was the third.
So now, this is what's happening here. Let me contextualize this for you. Basically, Kai starts asking I Show Speed. He goes, what is it about this fine bitch over here that makes her so special to you? You know what I'm saying? And I Show Speed's like, now he's put on the spot. You know, so he goes, oh man, let me use this as an opportunity to make a little heartfelt clip for the stream. You know, he goes, man, when I'm having a bad day, I call this bitch up, I talk to her. She makes me feel better. He goes, what else? He goes, man, I'm telling you guys, he looks into the streaming camera. He goes, guys, if you could find a girl that makes you feel special like this, that's a beautiful thing. Now, Kai starts pressing him. He goes, what else about her? Name 3. Name a third one, right? This is where I Show Speed starts to get to cooking. He starts trying to cook up some ideas in his head. He goes, man, this fucking clip is boring, man. How can I spice this up a little bit? Watch this.
That's valid.
That's somebody for you.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, bro,
that was the third thing. Your third thing. You have to say things. Like, I want to hear something a little presented by you. I don't want to something special. You know what I'm saying?
Now, pay attention to Mr. Speed right here. This brother's cooking. I'm telling you, in his mind, he's got 1,000,001 things going on, and he knows that he has to try to make this moment pop. You know what I mean? This guy is basically clip hunting right now. In his head, he's trying to think, what can I do to really, really bring this stream to the next level, right? This is where he tries to come in with the goods and gets met with the slapstick. Watch this. Look, he's cooking.
Why you put me on the spot? Okay, all right.
Watch him. He's thinking.
I ain't putting you on the spot, bro.
He's thinking. Watch this. This is gold.
What the fuck?
What the fuck was that, dude? Look at this asshole. And look at Kai Cenat's face. Kai's over here like, bro, I think this motherfucker just killed himself on my stream, dog. His girlfriend's like, baby, what are you doing, bro? You can't just be doing backflip. So now he's sitting there in his mind. You saw him sitting down cooking this one up. He's in his head. He's trying to think. He goes, what can I do? What can I pull out of my back pocket to make this moment pop? Now, usually he does these backflips like everywhere he goes. You know what I mean? People see him in the street. I show speed. Do a backflip. It's just like when people yell out the window while you're skateboarding and go, do a kickflip. It's the same shit with him. People see him, they go, do a backflip, do a backflip. So this guy's backflipping his ass off. So he thinks that he's got this one in the bag. He didn't take into consideration that there's a whole goddamn streaming setup. This room is like 5x6. You know what I mean? Like there's not much going on in here. You don't have room to just be doing a spread-legged backflip in the middle of this shit, bro.
A little presented by you. I don't want to something special. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Why you
Go
put me
ahead.
on the spot? Okay, all right. I bet.
I ain't putting you on the spot, bro.
And then here's the thing. Before he does it again, this was what got me. What about this? Like, is having to do with your girlfriend being so special? Like, are you trying to tell us that she's such a special person that she makes you do backflips? Is that what you're trying to tell us? You're trying to tell us this bitch gives you wings? Is that what you're saying here? Like, are you trying to do one of these, like, this is like a scene out of The Notebook. Like, you're in, like, the 1940s. You go, this girl is so goddamn cool, man. She makes me want to hop a skip and a jumper. And then he just, like, does a backflip. He goes, yippee, man. That's how she has my heart feeling right now. It's doing backflips for this girl. This is, like, what you're going for with this? Because if it is, this is crazy. She called him by his first name. She called him by his goddamn government name. What the fuck? I didn't know this asshole's name was Darren.
Are you okay? What are you doing?
Look, wait until you see his face. Watch this.
Darren!
Look at this guy. He's like, yo, baby, I thought I had that one in the bag, bro. He goes, man, I hope I didn't lose one of the diamonds in my $15 million earrings, bruh. Took a lot of streams to get these earrings.
Are you okay? Why would you do that?
Look at him, hurting.
All my life, he loves you. He fucking loves you.
He goes, he loves you. Let's give it up for I Show Speed in the backflip of a century, man. That was, I just couldn't. I couldn't not talk about that on the show. That shit was so goddamn funny. So let's get into this Beast Games, why don't we? Now, this show, kind of interesting because you expect it to be like one of his videos, right? You expect this game show to be exactly like one of his MrBeast videos. And it kind of is. It's still got him screaming like, hey, I got 1,000 people in here. I got my whole crew of like 25-year-olds that act like middle schoolers. We all like fucking kids. Like, he's still doing all that shit, right? But there's a little bit of a different feel this time. There's a lot of like emotion involved in this show. Because there's a lot of money on the line. So pretty much he's going out of his way. He like catered this show to make it to where like almost every situation, somebody's got to fuck somebody else over. And people are getting chopped like left and right in this shit. This is like Game of Thrones, bro. When you start to like a guy, they're gone. Now, remember when he had all those lawsuits? I talked about it a little bit on the show. People were like saying that the contestants weren't getting treated right. They weren't getting medications on time. They weren't getting like underwear and stuff. Like they were talking a lot of shit about this. I think they even went to have like a class action lawsuit against this guy. After watching the first 2 episodes of this shit, I was kind of like, I think they might be trying to sue him because they got eliminated so goddamn fast. That like in the first episode, this guy hacks out like 500 people. And he's doing it quick. Like, I almost couldn't even keep up with the first episode. Because every time I turned around, somebody was, like, falling through the floor like a fucking cartoon. Like, every time they got eliminated, they legitimately fell through the floor. So, the first 2 episodes was pretty much trying to hack off the fat. You know what I mean? So, I don't really want to cover those 2. Not too much emotion involved in just trying to get rid of as many people as you can, right? There's not really too much going on there. But then we get to the end of the second episode. And at the end of it, he leaves us with a cliffhanger. He has 4 captains representing the 4 groups of remaining people, right? Those captains have to sit on a platform, and on that platform behind them is a screen. The screen starts off with $0 and will keep going up until one of those captains hits a button in front of them. If the captain hits the button, they get the amount of money on the screen. I forget if they get to stay or if they go home, but the rest of their team is gone. So if they accept this money, the rest of their team is gone. Now, this is where some of these emotions start coming in, right? You start seeing upwards of $1 million on a screen. I mean, it's going to be hard not to hit that goddamn button. But you have like over 100 people sitting here on the floor all staring up at you. Please don't hit the button, bro. Like, you know, and you're on national television. What are you going to do? You know, what are you going to do? So that's what we're going to dive into on this first clip. You got all these team captains sitting up there on this platform, and the money is growing. What are they going to do?
Oh my gosh! You have got to be kidding me! There are literally 4 people currently saying no.
Whoa, who's that? Yo, is that Alec Baldwin, bruh? That Alec Baldwin real sus after that goddamn killing. Remember he shot that bitch on the set of fucking Rust? I wouldn't surprise me if Alec Baldwin got his ball suit off and he ended up joining this competition under an alias to try to win some money. Because this guy looking a lot like Alec Baldwin. This is Alec Baldwin off of Wish.
So $500,000! What is going on?
That's more money than I've ever seen, but that group is worth more.
What? You do realize that is real money that I will wire to you if you press that button. And you're not eliminated.
Oh, and you're not eliminated. Now, see, you drop some shit like that, I'm going to smash that button 3 times. I'm like, do I get paid 3 times because I hit the button 3 times? You know what I mean? Now, right now, this thing is over $500,000. Now, here's the thing. I know a little bit about MrBeast. I'm sure these contestants know a little bit about MrBeast, right? Why go for 500? Let's try to squeeze some water out of this goddamn rock.
Don't press. Don't press.
Look it. Don't press it. I love when they muffle the voices in the background. Don't press it. Don't press the button. The lead singer of Mumford and Sons over here. He's like, man, I got a heavy decision to make, Paul.
Can anybody resist that? What if you can press it? 900! Oh my God! What?
Come on, Dino, don't do it.
Yeah, what is he doing?
Are you guys numb to money?
Look at that. Look, you got this fucking guy right here, 25-year-old, a 12-year-old stuck in a 25-year-old's body yelling in your face. I would smash the button just to get this little freak the fuck away from me. So now it's hit 1 million. Now we hit 1 million smackers. All these assholes got to do is one of them's got to smash that button. Now take into consideration, you have to think about it. It's not just you up there, right? So are you going to hit the button before someone else takes it? Very good question, right? Are you going to really fuck over your whole team? There's like so many variables involved in this one decision, right? And you see this guy right here. I don't know. This little Mormon freak, he looks like he's got ironclad will. So I'm not suspecting him to hit the button. Honestly, I was thinking Alec was going to hit the button.
You don't want $1 million. What is going on? Dino! Stand your ground!
Stand your ground, man!
That's real money!
Holy moly!
This is real money!
See?
Real money! None of you want $1 million. Don't do it! I cannot believe what I am seeing. 5, 4.
Come on, Dino, don't do it.
This is your last chance.
Look, you saw his face? Look at that. Watch, I'll go back. Look at his face. This guy is fucking struggling with this decision.
Come on, Dino, don't do it.
This is your last
Ooh.
chance to take $1 million.
Ooh.
3, 2.
Come on, Alec. Think about how many lawsuits that could pay for, bro. You could pay so many lawsuits with that, Alec. With that $1 million, you could pay him. You shot that girl on the set of Rust. It doesn't have to be like this anymore, Alec. Take the $1 million. Take the $1 million.
2.
Is he taking it? Is he taking it?
1.
Oh my God.
You guys mean more to me than that screen.
Ooh. So now you guys see, he says that cheesy line. He goes, you guys mean more to me than that screen. Now we're down to 0, right? See, that's not the way to play it. If that was me up there, dude, I would have so the screen's behind them, right? For those of you listening at home, I'll paint you this little picture. The screen's behind them with all the money racking up, right? I would have turned around to look at the screen, right? And then I would have pretended to back up. I would have put my hands over my eyes like it was sunny out. I would have started looking up at the screen. I would have started backing up, and I would have pressed the button with my ace. You know? I would have pressed the button with my ace, and then I would have been like, oh my God, guys, I'm so sorry. I swear I didn't mean it. I did not mean to hit the button. Oh my, I would have put on an Oscar-winning performance. And then what happens then? MrBeast goes, oh, well, we can't really go back on the decision. He's good for that. If you've watched one of his shows before, you know. Anytime something like this happens, he goes, we're not going back on our word. We know you made a mistake. We're sorry for you. But you have to take the $1 million. You have no choice. And guess what? You get to stay in the game. Everybody else goes home. They can all go fuck themselves. Yep. I would have been like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys. I would have been gone. And these guys all start to regret it. Watch. You're going to see they all start doing little speeches, right? I'm going to fast forward to this part. They all start doing these little speeches, right? And they go, integrity's not for sale. Money comes and goes. One person's like, you're my family now, guys. I'd never give up this money for my family, you know? And almost every single one of them, that Mormon dude, you see it, he kind of is real good on his decision. He's happy with himself. The other 3, not so much. You could read these motherfuckers like books that they all regretted this decision. Watch this.
Everybody watching at home, this is what a living legend looks like right here.
First and foremost.
Look, his eyes watering. He's fucking tightening up his chin. He's like, bro, I'm about to lose my shit right now. I just let go of $1 million, God damn it.
First and foremost, thank all of you for trusting me. I don't have a lot of family, and now I feel like Right here. I got all I need. You know what I'm saying?
Let's show everybody.
Now, even her, look, I'm going to show you each one of them. Now, she goes, and now with you guys, I got all the family. I got all I need. You guys are the shit. Now, watch her face go from 100 to 0 as soon as she finishes saying that. Watch this.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's show everybody.
Every single one of those emotions. You trying to tell me this face right here. Let's see if I could get it on that frame. Yep, right there. You trying to tell me that face right there? You regret nothing? You regret not a thing? $1 million you just let slip through your fingers. Now watch this next Mormon Mumford & Sons looking motherfucker. This guy don't waver.
Let's show everybody you can be a good person in this world, and you can still win. Money comes and goes, but integrity and honor is earned.
Look at that. This guy, he's one of those Mormon fucking like gladiator freaks, dude. Like when the Mormon tribes meet up in the center field and they go, which one of our tribes will move forward? There can only be one. And then the two leaders go, bring out your best Mormon warrior. And then the two biggest pilgrim fucks come out. This is one of them. This guy comes out and goes, honor, integrity. He's got like a tool belt on his shit. Real old school stuff. It's just a strap of leather with some loops in it. He's got a hammer, wrench. And then instead of fighting each other to the death, they see who can build a shed the fastest. And I'm telling you, this guy is winning every time. Every time. Let's listen to his speech.
You can be a good person in this world, and you can still win. Money comes and goes, but integrity and honor is earned. I know it's hard.
Now watch, this next guy right here, this guy completely breaks. Worse than the other three. Like, when I'm saying that these people regret their decision, this guy really regrets his decision. Watch this shit.
Your fate in someone else's hands. We have all been there. I've been there. I was shaking in my boots on several of these different challenges that we experience. That someone's going to tap out. I wasn't going to do that to you. I can't do it to myself. I can't do it to my friends and family, man. I got you guys, man.
Look at that. He wanted to kiss somebody. He has no idea what's going on. His emotions are fucking bouncing around the inside of his body like that JFK 22 bullet that went through that. This guy has got hit with the magic bullet of emotions and his gut is all over the place. He has no idea what's going on to the point to where he kisses his own fist because he's like doesn't know what to do with himself. He's literally like, this is something you don't get to see very often. It's very rare that you actually get to see somebody in real time, like watching them go through, them realizing they made the worst mistake of their entire life. You don't get to see this. This is like watching a meteor shower. This is like once in a lifetime kind of shit. It's not very often you see somebody actually going through them realizing they made the worst decision of their entire life. This is like what's happening right here. Look at that. This is all honor, integrity, and nobility, right? Wrong. I would have smashed that like. I would have smashed that like button. I would have hit subscribe. I would have done the whole shit. You wouldn't have caught me slipping no goddamn way. So now, right after they do that challenge, MrBeast is like, oh man, you guys are going through a lot of stress, man. Like, it's kind of crazy. You know, I'm going to do like a little bit of an easy challenge for you guys. So he tells them to pair up in groups of their friends. Now, if you watch the MrBeast video, even one, you know that you never pair up with your friends. As soon as you do, he's going to do something to like put you guys against each other. Or he's going to do something to get you guys to try to eliminate each other, the whole shit. You always team up with your worst enemies. In a MrBeast video, that saying, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer, that shit holds supreme in a MrBeast video. So you cannot be buddying up with these people because he makes them do a sack race with their teams, right? No eliminations involved, but the winner gets a nice little bungalow, right? So that the people who get the bungalow get immunity from the next challenge. He makes everybody else, he says, hey, I'm going to put you guys all in a square padded room. There's going to be a handcuff attached to the wall and one phone. And you guys have 5 hours to figure out which two of you makes it on and which one of you stays handcuffed to this room. That's it. That's the game. So as soon as he gets done having this fun little sack race, he goes, hey, how's about I scramble your guys' fucking brains a little bit, make you go through probably the most crazy psychological bullshit you've been through in your entire lives. Check this out. As soon as these people start hearing the rules, they start breaking down with the sob stories and shit.
Very quickly, it became clear that most of these cubes would have a difficult time deciding who's going to chain themselves to the wall. But for others, there was obviously someone with a disadvantage.
Oh my gosh. This is all about AJ and Isla.
When you see somebody else in your vicinity, you don't leave them excluded to the side.
Oh my gosh.
I'm with two brothers, and they already told me I was going to be the one going home. They told me this earlier. So I said, fine, if I'm going home, if you can't decide one of the two, then you can come with me. So let's see how they do. I think one of you two should go.
Well, I don't think one of us should. I think one.
See, so notice how they're arguing now. Now they're sitting there kind of going against each other real quick. This one girl goes, the two brothers I'm with, they told me already that I'm going to be the one going home. So if I'm going to be the one going home, we're all going home. I forgot to mention to you guys that at the end of the 5 hours, if one person's not handcuffed to that goddamn wall, all three of them are gone. All three of them go. So this girl already is playing that card. See where the righteousness went? Real out the window real quick, right? When it's all about your team staying, you're real quick to go, don't take the $1 million, guys. And then as soon as they put you in a room with each other, you go, I'll slice all your fucking throats to win this shit, right? So you got the two brothers. They're sitting there going, hey, girl, I'm sorry. You're going to be out. She's sitting there backing up to them going, if I'm out, we're all out. You got another cube that's got like a boyfriend and girlfriend in there completely isolating the other one. Like, this is some heavy shit we got going on here. So they start arguing, and this is where these sob stories start coming out, right? Like, every time. These people, they got to chill with this shit. Every time you have one of these game shows like this, you see people busting out the sob stories, right? Why do we got to go that angle? I've always wondered that. Like, why do you got to go the sob story route? Why not have some fun with it? Like, why not go the evil route? Like, why not, when they ask you for an interview, why not go to that bitch and go, I'm only here to make money. I will spit in every single one of these people's faces to get the money. As a matter of fact, I'd trip them on a railroad track with a speeding train coming to get the money. Like, why not go that route? Why not just play like the evil, like if I was on that show, I'd wax my mustache at both ends. I'd go in there with like I'd be a whole different person. You'd see me on that show. You'd be like, Elias is acting like this? That's fucking crazy. You know, I'd be Waluigi in that bitch. You know what I mean? I'd be backstabbing everybody. And then as soon as they started interviewing me, I go, hey, look, this 89-year-old lady comes up in my shit. I'm going to give her an elbow to the jaw. I'm going to get that $5,000. I'm going to walk out. I'll handcuff her to the wall myself. You know? Why not take it that route? Why not have fun with it? Because these people think that the sob story is going to get them ahead. The producers don't care about that. They want the evil guy. So when you think like, oh man, I hope that guy gets what's coming to him, right? The producers are going to hold on to that guy because they're going to want you to hold that thought throughout all the episodes. They're going to go keep that guy in because we like the fact that people are getting stuck on him because they want to see him go home. That's going to keep viewers watching, right? When they see this sob story stuff, the producers go, here we go. We got another one. Nobody gives a fuck about this. Only this girl got lucky she got airtime because they used it to contextualize a story. And that's it.
I don't want to hurt you. I'm not gonna break.
Look at my man. My man got that shawarma.
So I don't want to get bullied.
There you go. Yes. Yes, you saw that? Look at this asshole. I love that. He's eating that shawarma. It's like he's got like a Olive Garden salad in this little plastic container, right? This girl's crying her eyes out His brother's trying to play the card of like, oh man, it's cool, girl. I'll come for you. We're gonna send you home, but I'll at least give you a hug on the way out, right? Not this guy. This guy was great. When I was watching this and I saw the sob story, I saw this girl crying, I had that thought. The same way I explained it to you earlier, where I was like, why is everybody going the sob story route? I started bitching about it, and then this guy came on screen. I was like, dude, this is great. This is exactly what I was asking for. Like, let's have some fun. Like, let's do that.
I don't want to get bullied into it.
Look at him. He's smiling.
Like, I don't want you guys to think that I'm, like, not at all, like, I'm like, whatever if they go out. Like,
just be careful. They might cut you out to be a villain.
I know I'm gonna become a villain, and I know it.
Look at that. The irony is so strong with that statement. This guy goes, hey, no, be careful. You know, you don't want the audience to paint you out to be some sort of villain. Meanwhile, the brother's sitting there in the background going, this bitch is gone. They go, hey, he's going, don't get used to this one. Don't get used to this one, fellas, because she's out of there. I'm telling you, first chance I get, she's out of there. So now, remember I told you guys about the red phone, right? That has the only things in that room are a pair of handcuffs chained to the wall. One person's got to handcuff themselves there. That's the person getting eliminated. And the other thing is a red phone that has the words on it, ask for anything, written on there, right? So you could literally ask for anything. These people, they could ask for like a deck of cards, you know, a pair of dice. They could start asking for games to try to decide who's going to go home, right? Now, when I saw that, naturally, that's what people were asking for, obviously. When I saw that, I was like, this again is boring. Like, let's spice this up. If I was going to be in there, I had a cell phone like that, I'd start asking for crazy shit. I'd be like, hey, can you guys bring the Dalai Lama in here so he could suck on my tongue, you know? Like, I'd start getting all sorts of... I'd ask for, like, birthday cakes brought to me by Shaq, you know what I mean? I'd start asking for, like, camels and all sorts of crazy shit. Again, I started bitching about that while watching this, and then I was met with this. They start getting crazy with their requests. Look at that poor sap. That would be me. That would dead ass be me. Look, if I was in that situation, I'd be crying like a bitch. Look at him. Poor guy. And look at the tear. Let's zoom in on the tear and play it back in slow-mo. Look at that. Look at $5 million down the drain. That's a $5 million tier right there, dude. And he knows it, dude. This guy is one of the guys that got eliminated playing like Jenga or some shit. Like, come on, man. Let's have some fun. Let's get crazy.
3 hours and 62 cubes of the original 80 still remain in this game. But as time passed, the requests we were getting from the cubes started to get a little more interesting.
Hello, can I help you? Monopoly set. Okay. Anything else?
Okay, who ordered that?
When I say they can order anything, I mean it.
There we go.
Good girl.
Now we got some horses in play.
Taking advantage of this game.
2 princess dresses and 1 Prince Charming outfit. Snow cone machine, cotton candy machine, a pool would be nice, and then a pepperoni pizza.
You're goddamn right. You're goddamn right. That girl, she knows what's going on, bro. I loved when I saw that. I was like, yeah, start draining these fucking guys. Take them for everything that they got. I'd be like, can you stuff the whole 5 million in here? Can you do that? Start pocketing some of that money on the way out. You know what I mean? Take $1 million, put it in your pocket, handcuff yourself to the wall. Why not? Let's get crazy with it. Let's start asking for some shit. So this girl, she had the right attitude. She even looked at MrBeast and she's like, you know, oh, wait, we haven't gotten there yet. She's gonna look at MrBeast and be like, hey, you know, come join our party. Bring your friends. You know, she asked for all that stuff. Why not?
Oh my gosh.
Here's some of your stuff, guys. Yes, we still have more coming out.
Yes.
We'll see you back for the party. Bring all your friends.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going crazy.
I love that. I love that. Look at her face. She goes, yeah, man, we're having fun over here. She goes, bring all your friends. She knows how to have a goddamn good time. If one of you is going to go, why not, make something of it? This is goddamn television. This girl knows.
Okay. I think they're going crazy.
And I think these people might have forgotten that there's $5 million on the line because these requests just kept getting more insane.
Ball pit balls?
Psychic, huh? 32 pairs of socks.
Hey! Tattoo artist.
Can you truly bond with some brothers without an impulsive tattoo?
That's good shit right there. When I was thinking, because when I saw the first one, right, you start thinking in your head, you go, what would I request, right? I'd be like, oh, let me get this, let me get that. I never in a million years would have thought, hey, can you get somebody in here? I could get a free tattoo out of this. Like, that's fucking smart as shit, because they know that they can't take anything out of these rooms with them. Like, you could essentially ask for $5 million, right? And MrBeast would probably bring it to you. But then the stipulation is you can't take it out of the room. This guy, the Mormon juggernaut, he was the only one who was like, what can I get that I can leave with? A tattoo. Like, that is the smartest shit. When I saw that, I was like, now we're cooking, bro. I like this shit. Then you start seeing people with like big screen TVs and pizzas, puppies, the whole nine.
Bond with some brothers without an impulsive tattoo?
Look at that. Oh, let's give it up for the puppies, man. You gotta love the puppies, bro. So now that the requests are getting crazy, right? But that's not it. Remember I told you, these people, they start losing that righteous way of theirs, as soon as the shit starts hitting the fan. So now these people are asking for crazy shit. That's not the only thing we got going on here. People start cheating. People started cheating. And this ain't good. But I like it. I like to see this kind of shit. We don't need these MrBeast games to be all like prim and proper. We need that stuff for good TV. So you remember earlier, there was this couple here, and they were real schmoozy. They were like really leaving the third wheel out, right? So now these guys request for a set of Jenga cards. And this couple right here, they start cheating their asses off. Watch this.
This cube chose to play a simple three-way game of Uno.
No warm-up, this is the game, right?
But the stress of $5 million on the line caused player 680 to help her friend cheat after securing a victory of her own.
Ooh.
FBI, open up!
Not cool, bro. Not cool. Look at her. Giving him the sign. She goes, yo, that bitch got a goddamn two. That's not good. Can't have people cheating like that. Now, remember when I told you earlier, one of the rules in this is that if you got people, if one of you, all three of you can't come to a decision, right? And nobody is handcuffed to that wall at the end of the 5 hours, then all three of you are getting eliminated. So now, what do you think is going to happen when people start playing these games? Somebody's going to end up getting eliminated. They're not going to want to play ball. And this is what happens next. This girl didn't even know they cheated, and she still played that card. Watch this.
And while some contestants cheated or even refused defeat,
I just feel like we should play another game.
No, that's because you lost.
others chose to give up on their game entirely, causing an absolute panic.
I'm not playing.
You're not playing?
Draw the card.
What the heck, Hazem?
Draw the card.
No. Oh,
Hazem.
he's backing out. He's backing out.
Do you want to go home?
No one wants to go home, of course.
So draw the card.
I was never part of this conversation.
I'll give you guys 10 more seconds, and I'm not going to peer pressure.
Ooh.
All right.
Look,
guess
he don't
nobody
give a
wants to play
fuck.
the game.
Well, I guess we have 2 hours to figure it out again.
So now they have 2 hours to figure it out again, right? Wrong. Because I'm going to tell you right now, those brothers, those two brothers with that girl just now, they were scheming. They were scheming the whole time. They basically had been talking to each other, right? And you already saw when she was doing her sob story shit, that one dude was laughing his ass off. He's like, I don't give a crap about this girl's story, bro. I'm here to win. So he naturally is like the odd one out of that. He's the one that's not playing ball, or so you think. They get in a card game going. They go, okay, we're going to draw the cards. Whoever gets the highest ones, they move on, blah, blah, blah. That guy that I'm talking about with the cold soul, he says, I'm not playing that, leaving them in a tight spot. All three of them might get eliminated now. They end up going through with it. They go, all right, we'll play the card game without this asshole. We'll just keep it at a 50-50 chance. This guy basically gets immunity, which would have never flown with me. I would have been like, you leave him out of the game, you're practically giving him immunity. So you're going to watch this. And then you find out they were scheming the whole time. Watch this.
Your chances are 33% chance that you make it out. That's less of a chance for you. I am saying, why not one of us sit out and it's you and I play, and now it's a 50-50 for you.
Let me think for a second, because I see what you're saying.
I'm just meet in the middle.
Think about something.
Let's meet in the middle.
Even though she clearly didn't want to play, 20 minutes of nonstop manipulation might have just changed her mind.
We're just going to say screw it and do it again. He's not going to participate, but whoever makes it will keep that in their back of their mind moving forward.
So you want to do the card game again?
It's just going to be us two, whoever.
Look, I didn't even notice these stupid assholes have like, who's that? Like Zodiac killer drawings like all over their goddamn room. Like these three were like actually going insane like the whole time. This is crazy.
Really? And you're not doing it? All right, the deck is shuffled.
Then I had a good chance and I'm just gonna ruin it. I just want to get this over with.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, she lost.
I told you I'd do it. I told you I'd do it.
And this guy laughing his ass off, bro. What the fuck kind of... This guy don't give a shit. Now watch. Remember I told you they was scheming. They was scheming. Watch this. This guy is basically going to tell MrBeast the whole plan.
You're going to think you're evil, but it worked. You didn't have to play.
So we played, me and my brother, and we were secretly talking to each other the entire time. And basically she doesn't know about it.
Whoa. Whoa.
Look at that.
Bye.
Look, and then he's jumping and skipping. Look at this. This is the face right here. You cannot trust these Persians. I don't know what this guy is. You can't trust him. I don't know what race this guy is. I'm a brown myself. This is one of those untrustworthy browns. You don't trust a guy like this, okay? Him and his brother, you got to keep an eye on those two in the Beast games. Those two are so evil that I guarantee you they're going to end up making it to like the last fucking round of the whole thing. Now watch this. Remember I told you how if they don't come up with a decision by the end of this, they're gone. Watch these two. So these people end up coming into this whole situation of like they get stuck. They can't come to a decision, right? And you're going to see this shit is dumber than all hell. To get stuck up like this is actually crazy. This group of people, they came to a decision. They had the decision done. And this girl sits there and says, guys, I can't do it. I can't put the handcuffs on by myself. She's being so dramatic, right? She goes, you guys got to put them on for me. I can't do it to myself. And these two idiots with her want to be just as dramatic. They go, well, we can't put the handcuffs on for you. What kind of symbolism would that be if we put the handcuffs on for you? We can't do that to you. Watch how this plays out for them.
Oh my God.
So he says it again. He says it again. He goes, if you guys don't come to a decision, nobody's chained to that wall at the end of this, you're all getting eliminated. You have 1 minute left.
I'll stand up there with you, Sam, but I'm not doing that. No, we don't. We'll stand with you, but we can't put them on you. Sam, come on. We can't do that. I can't do that.
This is the dumbest shit. Put the handcuffs on. If that was me, I would have slapped those handcuffs. I would have did it too tight. She would have been like, whoa, dude, you're hurting my circulation. I would have kept squeezing. I'd be like, if you can't do it yourself, I'll do it for you. Is that what, I thought that's what we were doing here. this is how I like to put the handcuffs on. I would have started squeezing the shit out of him. You know, to be like, you want to play games? Let's play some games.
Sam. But I don't think it will even count. You have to put it on yourself. I don't think that was part.
So now, look, time's up. Mr. Beast says time's up. Now they start scrambling to get these goddamn handcuffs on. What, are you fucking serious? And then these guys, they go, we can't help you. We can't help you put them on. You got to do it yourself. Like they're like some righteous gemstones coming out of a movie, right? And then they go and try to help her with the handcuffs anyway. Like, why didn't you do that from the beginning? You just cost yourself $5 million.
It's clicked. It's clicked.
Now, remember I told you Mr. Beast is a stickler for this kind of shit.
You guys were 4 seconds too late. I'm so sorry, guys.
Goodbye. See, that's how stupid you are. Let's give it up for these idiots. 5 million beans. You just cost yourself a 5 million large. Now, remember, we're going to end the Mr. Beast segment on this one. Remember, I told you about those two brothers, those two Persians. I told you, I said, you got to watch it. I think they're actually Egyptian. I'm just joking. Making like a 300 joke. You know what I mean? They're Persians. So I told you about them Persian brothers, right? So now, Mr. Beast, he's about to come to the island after this game. He comes to, or the island, the fucking town. They all live in a town. You know what I mean? That's where they're staying, in like Mr. Beast village or some shit. So he comes to the village. He goes, guys, I brought you a present. You know, I got you this awesome present. First person to touch this present gets to keep it. There could be anything inside of it. Who knows? Watch this. One of those brothers doesn't hesitate.
Morning, everybody. How you doing?
Oh, no.
It's a giant gold present.
I'm over at the entrance if you want to come say hi. Might have brought a little gift. Yesterday was a little brutal. You all seem sad.
Brutal. Dude, he said brutal. Like, we don't have time. I saved one of the time codes for that. Dude, he said brutal throughout this episode like 1,000 times. Like, I'm not even kidding. Every other word out of his mouth said, that's brutal, bro. Someone gets eliminated. He goes, that's brutal, man. This is brutal.
Might have brought a little gift. Yesterday was a little brutal. You all seem sad. So, I brought you a gift. I want to cheer you up.
Yeah, you open it.
This giant golden gift I brought you will go to whoever touches it first.
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay.
Look. That's one of the scheming brothers. That was the fat one with the curly hair right there. You saw the way he blasted through those people? Let's go back a little bit. These two are playing to win. We know who the new producer's favorite is. Check this shit out.
Whoever touches it first.
Boom.
Oh, okay. I didn't even finish explaining it, but...
Are you kidding?
I was going to say, and once you touch it, you can't take that decision back.
Oh, see, so it could have been two old-ass ladies sitting in front of this guy. He would have, bam, blasted through those bitches to get to that goddamn present. And this is the kind of stuff that we need. This is what's going to keep the Beast games alive. You know what I mean? And this is great because Mr. Beast, he tries to make it seem like, like I tell you, in these types of shows, the evil ones always get rewarded. Remember that. He tries to make it seem like, oh, you touch the president, it could be the worst thing ever. He gives this guy a golden ticket and a helicopter ride to some fancy schmancy island bungalow bullshit. Everybody else has to live in these like shacks in Mr. Beast Town. And this guy and 6 other people get to live on an island getting fed grapes and stuff like that. All for him being that big of an asshole. And you gotta love it. Let's give it up for the Mr. Beast games taking place of a week segment. You know what I mean? You gotta love the good old week segment. So before we jump on to our next segment, we're gonna be jumping into Joe Rogan completely cucking out Tim Dillon. Before we get into that, we'll have ourselves a little bit of a smoke break. You know what I mean? We'll get some tunes playing and get ready to hop into a little bit of a smoke sesh. As always, I'd like to thank you for joining me on this wonderful episode of Lost Ox Media. Let's get ourselves a couple puffs and listen to a couple tunes, and then we'll get right back into the segments. If you guys didn't get a chance to check it out already, I'm wearing the new Lost Ox Media mustache hoodie. Yes, check it out. Check it out. Got a little mustache logo, got the hair up top, and mustache up bottom, Lost Ox Media in the middle. Sweatshirts are very comfy, very good quality, and very low price, 39 beans. Be sure to check out lostox.media if you want to check out any of the merch and help support the show, or if you just want to stay up to date with all things Lost Ox Media. There's all of our social media channels on there. You can end up accessing the YouTube page, the Spotify page, the podcast page, all from Lost Ox Media. Lostox.media. We don't do .com over here, okay? It's .media in this bitch. You better understand that. So, once again, check out lostox.media for any merch or to stay up to date with anything Lost Ox Media. What are we going to have next in the tune department? Ooh. It always seems like every time I start a smoke break, I end up getting songs that we've heard already, which I don't like. I gotta expand the playlist a little bit more. Trust me, I will be getting on that soon. So we'll finish out this puff, and we'll get into this Joe Rogan on the Tim Dillon Show. Very crazy situation because, like I had mentioned to you earlier, they end up doing the whole episode in Joe Rogan's studio. It's like this guy legitimately is like glued to that studio or something. You never see him outside of it. Only time you ever see Joe Rogan outside of the studio is when you see clips from the Comedy Mothership where he happens to be like introducing someone on stage. We actually don't ever even see like stand-up clips of Joe Rogan that often. Like, only time you see stand-up clips of Joe is when it comes from one of his comedy specials. This guy doesn't even do anything to promote himself. Not that he has to. The Joe Rogan Experience is fucking huge. We all know that, right? So why is Tim Dillon doing the show in Joe's studio? Tim wants to get some of those proverbial clicks from it, you know what I mean? You slap Joe Rogan's name on something, people are gonna tend to tune in, you know? He does have like the most popular show on earth, not even the most popular podcast. So we're gonna basically see Tim try to do an episode with Joe in Joe's studio, and then you're gonna watch it go from the Tim Dillon Show to basically just another episode of the Joe Rogan Experience. Let's check this out.
We're up.
Thank you for doing this.
My pleasure. Do you want to sit here?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
It's your show, though.
Well, but that's not what we do. On YouTube, we call it, we say the Joe Rogan Experience, and people click.
Ah.
Yeah. Don't sue.
Good move. I won't sue.
Don't sue.
Come on.
Thank
I love
you.
I'll never sue you.
Thank you for letting me shoot the special at the Mothership. It was amazing. Thank you for saving it.
Thank you for doing it. Well, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Very interesting right there, right? Says, thank you for letting me do my special at the Comedy Mothership, and thank you for saving it. What does he mean by this, right? I'll tell you. Tim ends up hiring a team of producers to do his new comedy special that I'm sure he'll end up releasing on like Netflix or something. This team comes in, they end up lighting up the entire room. Like normally you go into these comedy clubs, the room where they're performing is like a little on the dark side. Why do they do that? Because people get self-conscious when they laugh at like crazy outlandish shit that people are saying on stage. Something about having people be able to see you clearly kind of puts you on the spot, doesn't it? Right? So a trick that these comedy clubs like to do is they like to darken out the room. They go, let's make it so that you can't even see your hand in front of your face. And then all you can see is this clown on stage, and maybe we'll get a couple more chuckles that way. To me, that's cheating. You should do comedy the same way you have sex, with every single light in the house on. Like, when I'm making love, I'm turning out every light, the bathroom, the laundry room light, the living room, the kitchen, my bedroom, they're all on because I don't want to miss a thing. I want to see everything, okay? And just in case somebody decides to try to sneak up, okay? You can't be caught lacking like this. So you need the lights on. Comedy is no different. If you can't do comedy with the lights on, can you even do comedy? If you can't fuck with the lights on, are you even fucking? I mean, come on. Let's go. What are we doing here? So that's what they're talking about here. Joe walks into the comedy club before Tim's comedy special taping. He goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. Every goddamn light in this bitch is on. What's happening here? I don't like this. So Joe starts taking Tim's team and making them do corrections to the production. Imagine that. Imagine you hire a whole fucking production crew of people, right? All to have the owner of the comedy club that you're producing it in come in and start bitching them all around. Ain't that some shit?
A comedy club.
Well, to those guys' credit, they all did exactly what I said, which is beautiful. They didn't push back at all. They
were smart.
Yeah, they had so much work that they put into making things interesting. They lit the walls weird.
Yeah.
They did all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I said, you got to understand, all this stuff makes people self-conscious. The more they can see themselves, the more they can see other people, the more they're self-conscious, the more they won't laugh. And Tim's act is fucked up.
Right.
Like you have to cut loose on some jokes that in polite company you would never laugh at.
That's right.
You would turn your head away from. So.
And what was a mind fuck is that I was here a month ago and I did 6 shows and they were like the best shows we've ever done.
You're like, this is the perfect place to film.
Why wouldn't we film it here?
Right.
And we filmed it at the store and we didn't get the coverage. I had a good set, but the coverage wasn't there.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And
which doesn't make any sense.
It was not ideal.
See, so this is like Tim's 3rd time even trying to record this goddamn thing. He's been recording it at every goddamn club in the country. And he can't get the coverage. The production team fucking sucks. So now, is it Joe's fault for bitching around his production crew? Or is it Tim's fault for being an idiot and hiring a shitty production crew? Like, this is something that Tim is good for. His first comedy special that he had on Netflix, you can't even find it on Netflix anymore. They took it clean off. The only way, like, if you go on Netflix and type into the search bar, Tim Dillon comedy special, all you get is, This Is Your Country, the new one that we covered a couple episodes back. That's it. You don't get his first one. I think the first one was called like An American Hero, right? You can't even find it. Only way I could find any remnants of it on Netflix was I had to go into Google, type the name of the special in, then it brought me to a Netflix link, and that brings you to a remind me when the show will be available again screen on Netflix. So you can't search for it. You even have to get reminded by Netflix like, hey, we're going to put it back up. Never. You know what I mean? So the first special was produced like shit. He had it produced by his old producer, Ben Avery. Now, I'm not knocking on Ben. Ben's never produced a comedy special. This is on Tim. You can't just, if you want it to come out top-notch, hire top-notch people. You can't just hire your friend who's never done this before and expect the results to come out good. And Tim's going to basically explain this to us. Tim doesn't really care about this kind of shit. Tim basically just shows up.
One we got at the store, the guy who did it's good guy. He's a nice guy, and he's a talented guy, but he just made some choices where he was like far out. He wasn't like, we didn't have a ton of close-ups. And that was what because here's the thing, they have a vision too. Right. The people that shoot it. And I don't talk to any of them and figure out anything.
Oh, you have to do that.
I've really learned.
Yeah.
I just showed up.
Yeah, I know this.
Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine if I just showed up, like, to this podcast. You know, it's crazy. Sometimes I'll get comments on this because of the nature of the show. You know, I'm basically just talking a bunch of smack about a lot of people's heroes and shit. So, you know, sometimes people will comment, they'll be like, how lazy a content is this? Somebody sitting there reacting to someone else's content, you know, while they listen to a podcast where somebody reviews a movie. You know, that's like this is the state of the world that we're in, right? And people think that this kind of content that I'm doing, me in particular, is so lazy. I control all this shit by myself. I come up with all the topics by myself. If I did what Tim just did and just showed up here, you guys wouldn't have any time codes. I would like legitimately have to. You see all these over here? This is the prep that I do for the show. This is okay. 0 0 is the intro. 2 minutes and 14. He talks about the lights being awkward. 4 minutes in, Tim just shows up. You know, see, I got to do that prep. So I got to watch. I got to actually go through and watch this stuff. How lazy is that? You know, I'm reacting. I'm practically doing a goddamn book report for you motherfuckers every week, right? And I'm not making the same money Tim's making, right? So this asshole just, you know, he just shows up. You know what I mean? Like, imagine that. Imagine if I just showed up. I would be rambling. You wouldn't want to listen to this shit.
Yeah.
I just showed up.
Yeah, I know this.
I don't even like, I'm bad at that part of it where I'm like, I don't do like the strategy meeting and go, what are we?
Right.
I just figure it's like, yeah, it's a mothership, it's a great club. You got a camera.
Yeah.
There's a stage.
Don't go too crazy with the design. And that's what the problem was. They went,
see, you don't, that's asinine to me. To have any kind of production, anything, whether you're a little YouTube creator or a top-notch, quote-unquote, professional comedian like Tim Dillon, to go into any kind of production with no preparation at all, whether you are the talent or otherwise, is always going to make for a shitty production. That's just the way it goes, right? And you couldn't make it more evident with this line that's about to come out of Tim's mouth. He basically sits there. They're still talking about the show. They're still talking about the comedy special. We're 10 minutes in now to the podcast. We're still talking about that. He's basically admits to Joe, he goes, yeah, I walked on stage and I could tell that like half of the crowd didn't want to be here. Why? You don't do any fucking prep for your comedy special. Did you know that like if you buy tickets for this guy's show, you're basically playing a game of roulette? Did you know that? Because this guy cancels shows all the goddamn time. He doesn't prep for shit. He doesn't show up when he's supposed to. Like, if this guy didn't have a podcast and a Patreon, what would he be doing? You know, he'd be fucking shit up, trying to sell cars somewhere or some shit.
Areas, especially San Jose Improv. That place is awesome.
It's always supposed to be awesome, and it was like, you know, it was tough. So it is comedy's such an interesting thing. You got to have an idea of like what you're going to see, who you're going to see.
Yeah.
And because I saw people that 8 o'clock Wednesday show, I'm like, they don't want to be here.
What the fuck?
Look at that. You know, I remember a time when Tim used to be such a humble dude. There was once a time where like if I would have zoomed in on Tim like this, all you would have saw on the top of his head was a comb over haircut just like mine. Instead, now, he's wearing a black-on-black Louis Vuitton goddamn leather cap. Nobody even wears these goddamn things anymore. Like, celebrities don't even wear these things anymore. And these glasses, what the fuck are we doing? You know? This guy he's almost getting like a Tom Segura, you know? Only thing that really saves Tim with him having this whole like, I'm rich and you're not attitude is that even when he wasn't rich, he always said that he was going to be this person. That's the only thing that saves him. So, like, people will kind of let this behavior slide a little bit because he's always admitted that that's who he was going to be. You cannot knock that. You cannot knock that. What you can knock is the fact that you're going into doing a comedy special with no preparation. You got the room lit the fuck up like it's Guantanamo goddamn Bay. Nobody can everyone sees each other. They're seeing the pores in each other's faces and shit. And then you go, hey, I feel like people didn't, they came to the 8 o'clock show. I felt like they didn't want to be there. You know? I could tell that they just didn't want to be there. Yeah, no shit.
Of an idea of like what you're going to see, who you're going to see.
Yeah.
And because I saw people that 8 o'clock Wednesday show, I'm like, they don't want to be here. Some of these people don't want to be
Joe
here.
Rogan in the background.
Well, I don't think that's the case.
Maybe it wasn't.
I think they were weirded out
by how lit it was.
It was so well lit.
It was so well
lit. There's a light in front of you on your table.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was a bad idea.
And then Thursday shows were the best ever.
Yeah, that's perfect. Well, we got them to shut off everything.
Yeah.
They said, oh, we're just going to leave these lights on. I'm like, let me see them off. Like the stage light.
Right.
I go, let me see that off.
Right.
Let me dim it down. Let me see it off. Okay, take it off. No, get rid of it. Get rid of it. And they did everything.
Yeah.
So now Joe's sitting dude, imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine you paid a crew of people like 25 G's to be in this goddamn comedy club, right? And you got this bald 5'2" muscle monkey maniac telling them what to do. I'd be like, dude, are you flipping the bill for this? Are you flipping the bill for this? All right. How's about this, Joe? You tell me, I'll tell them. Chain of command, let's keep it. You know what I mean? What are we doing? You got this fucking megalomaniac sitting there telling these guys what to do. And I'm not even using the word megalomaniac right. Come on, man. So now Joe's bitching around Tim's team, right? But Tim's sitting back kind of just like taking it because Tim doesn't know what the fuck to do. Tim's been doing comedy as long as he's been doing. He's got one Netflix special that you can't find. No other specials aside from that. You hardly see clips of his stand-up anymore. I'm starting to think that Tim is making the transition from good stand-up to shitty stand-up podcaster. That's what happens with these guys. They start making that Patreon money. They start making that podcast money. And comedy just gets thrown out the window. And then when they do try to write, they forget about the fact that they're writing bits that they talked about on the show. So people a lot of times will go to see their comedy and be like, I already heard half of this shit, you know? So now let's hear Joe talk about how he's bitching Tim's team around and how Tim needs that guidance.
It's so nice owning a club.
Of course.
There's no committee.
Yeah.
There's no committee. There's me and you.
You're
What do you want?
You're the dictator.
But it's not even a dictator. It's like
Right.
I do whatever the comic wants. Like,
Right.
whatever you need. Tell me what you want. We'll do it that way?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You want music? No music? Okay, no music. Whatever you want.
No, it's the most comic-friendly club, meaning like you can do anything you with. The reason that I need guidance because I don't know.
What the fuck? Bro, okay. This is where you start to lose me. This is where you start to lose me on this shit. What? Bro, you wearing a fucking $3,500 hat. You're wearing $4,500 Louis Vuitton sunglasses. Imagine that. And this guy got Polo Assassin hoodie on. Like, and you don't know? You need guidance? You cannot be acting like this ritzy fucking guy. And you need guidance. That's not what people look up to rich people for. I see a rich guy walking down the street. I go, that guy's got it all figured out. You know? Yeah, he might be a mess emotionally. He might be completely unhappy and an empty shell of a person, but I still look at him as if he has something figured out because he's got an ass load of money. So when you're sitting there wearing this shit, flaunting your riches, and, you know, talking a lot of shit about other people's movies, comedy, different things like that, we expect you to not need any guidance. We expect you to have a remnant of what the fuck is happening here, right? And you're saying this shit now. This is wild.
No, it's the most comic-friendly club, meaning like you can do anything you with. The reason that I need guidance because I don't know. Like I just know I like being funny.
Well, what you need with a special is someone who knows you,
right,
and someone like if I was directing or producing
Right.
your special,
Yeah.
this never would have happened. I would have said, no, we have to have it very dark. Like,
Right.
let's take a look at it.
Right.
Let me hear the sound. Sound's got
Yeah.
to be cranked all the way up.
If I was directing your special, I love that. If I was directing your special. If Joe was directing the special, no one would be able to find him. He's too short. Every single person would be like, where's Joe? He's almost at ground level. Like, guys, I need you to change the lights. Nobody would give a fuck what this guy had to say. Okay? I know I wouldn't. You know? I know I wouldn't. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at Tim's other special, the one that was produced by Ben Avery. You're going to get a kick out of this. This is how much guidance Tim doesn't have. Wait until this is a trailer. I couldn't find the whole special. So I had to go with like a clip or a trailer or something that Tim had ended up posting on his YouTube channel, right? Wait until you get a load of this. This is Tim's stand-up comedy, and this was his last produced special. And you're going to see he's going to come in with this level of experience to Joe's club, and no wonder Joe was like, yeah, turn the fucking lights off, change the whole shit. As a matter of fact, scrap your whole goddamn set. We cannot do this. Firebomb the whole goddamn thing and let's start from scratch. No wonder, because when you see this, you're going to see Tim, the audio is all crazy. It's fucking echoing throughout the theater hall. There's blue lights fucking every goddamn where. Tim's wearing the craziest shit. Hair all messed up. Lighting looks like shit. Like, no wonder. Joe probably walked into his club and was like, I've never even seen my club look like this. What the fuck are you guys doing?
And I don't know what's going on. Are they teaching 2-year-olds about gender theory? Maybe. I don't know. There's always one school that they find in, like, San Francisco.
You hear that echo? You hear the echo? And then look at the way Tim's acting. He's, like, flaunting it. You never see Tim act like this. You never see Tim act like this. He makes fun of people who do stand-up like this. Sometimes you get these guys on stage, though, they get this deer in the headlights type shit. They start acting like caricatures of themselves almost. You know what I mean? This is what's happening here. Bad audio, bad lighting, bad stand-up. It's just bad.
I don't know what's going on. Are they teaching 2-year-olds about gender theory? Maybe. I don't know. There's always one school that they find in, like, San Francisco. There's always one school they use as an example where the teacher's in front of the kids and she's like, this is my labia.
This is my labia. Dude, we gotta lock this guy up. You know? Wait until they show a full body shot of Tim. This was like the beginning of Tim's hypebeast era. This was like right before the transition. Because you notice he's wearing normal shit in this, right? Wait until you see the shoes.
And tonight I'm gonna make it a cock. And your homework is to name my new cock.
Name it. All right, let's get to a frame of it. I want to show you guys the start of the hypebeast era. They got a shit right here. Look at his shoes. Watch this shit.
Mrs. Miller, your daughter's a les.
Your daughter's a les.
Let them figure it out.
Okay, come on. Let's get back to okay, so here's the full body shot. Tim, you notice normal shirt, no Louis Vuitton hat, but look at them shoes. We got Lakers colored shoes. That's bright purple, little bit of yelly. You know what I mean? A little bit of yelly on the shoe. This is kind of where it started from the bottom. Then it came all the way up here to the top, you know? So the hypeness, it started from the shoe, and just like gangrene, it spread up his body until it got to the point to where he's wearing the craziest Louis Vuitton hat and glasses you've ever fucking seen. And that's where we are today. So this guy, you know, he can't really figure out his own comedy special shit, right? But remember I told you that this was going to slowly start turning into the Joe Rogan experience, right? Because right now they're doing a lot of good back and forth. It sounds like a normal conversation. This is not the typical Joe Rogan format where like Joe talks for like 35 minutes, you talk for 30 seconds, and then Joe talks for another 35 minutes, bitches you around a little bit, cuts you off in the middle of talking, but tells you to wait when you try to cut him off in the middle of talking. This is not, at first it wasn't like that. Now we're about to see the transition. He's about to just steamroll this into a typical episode of JRE. Watch this.
He said, I spoke to someone. But you know what's interesting? My friend Bethany, who's like one of the Real Housewife chicks who came up with that margarita. She made like a shitload of money.
Bethany Frankel?
Yeah, Bethany Frankel. Some guy called her, and we did a 3-way call. She goes, I just want you to be on the phone with this dude. And he was just basically like, listen, my dad worked for this and that. And he was, and he goes, he said a lot of what that guy said. He said they're looking for something, and whatever they're looking for, they want to find.
Yeah.
So now here we go. Watch that. Tim gets his point out, right? So now normally if you were, you want to say one little thing, keep the conversation rolling. You don't want to make this a one-sided conversation like Joe typically does. And you remember in the beginning, in the intro, Joe's like, you want to sit in this chair? And Tim's like, no, man. What are you talking about? It's your studio. So Joe, it's not like Joe doesn't understand the dynamic here. So what is it? Does Joe think that this podcast isn't going as good as he'd like it to? What's the reason here? Why are we going to get this JRE landslide come in from the left?
Badly.
Well, if they do have a Skunkworks program where they do have some very sophisticated drones that can do things that these drones are doing. But one of these things these drones are doing is hovering for very long periods of time.
Now, you see how he did that? Watch. Joe does this every time. He'll be sitting back like this, and he starts getting the ball rolling. He starts getting up in his chair. He touches the knobs on the side of the mic. He goes, let's get locked in. I'm about to talk for 78 minutes. This is about to happen.
Drones are doing. But one of these things
Look at,
these drones are doing
touches
is
the
hovering
mic
for very long periods of
Yeah,
time.
okay.
5 hours.
Okay.
5 hours of flight time is nuts for a drone. And they're not exhibiting this traditional heat signature. Any kind of engine, an electric engine, any engine is going to give off heat. It's going to give off friction. It just has to.
Okay.
So somehow or another, these things aren't doing that. So how are they doing that?
Pass the ball back, Joe.
System, and if they have a cooling
Joe, pass the ball back to Tim.
system, what's powering the cooling system, and how?
Joe, please pass the ball back to Tim.
What kind of batteries are they operating under that they can fly for 5 hours at a time? So Ryan Graves,
Joe, please pass the ball back to Tim. This guy, he's like, seriously, this guy is like going for the whole 9, dude. Like, please give it back to Tim. We don't need this. Now watch, he does it again. Like, not even 5 minutes later, he does it again. He starts getting on this steamroll bullshit, right? He starts talking about a topic. And then Tim's going to be like, okay, yeah. Like, Tim talking in his, like smoking grandmother voice, right? If you have a grandmother, she's, like, in her 80s. She still smokes cigarettes. Her and Tim have the same voice. So Joe's going to keep talking about the topic. Tim's going to be like, okay, so I'm going to try to, like, convert the conversation to something else over here, right? And then Joe's going to be like, no, wait, before you do that, Jamie, pull it up. And he's going to start doing the whole thing again. Tim's like, I thought this was my show. What are we doing here? I thought I was the one that was like talking about my comedy special, stuff like that. Now you got Jamie pulling up things on the screen. What are we doing,
I was going to dig into that photographer, but you guys...
Right, but did you see that there was other images like you could scroll?
I know.
Yeah, so Sony A. What is that, Jamie? How is that
Camera.
a badass?
It's a camera.
Is that like the
Just
shit?
It's new.
New. Okay, so top of the food chain, right?
Yeah.
And that's what he saw.
Jamie, there's also a video of somebody from a plane, and they're seeing these orbs in the sky above the clouds. There's like a lot of stuff that is lit up.
Could we, before you do that, could
Sure.
we just go back to that image again real quick? Yeah.
Look at Tim. Tim, bro, this is the depressing. Tim's getting fucked, dude. He's legitimately getting cucked right here. This guy's podcast is getting butt fucked by Joe Rogan, and he's sitting back and watching, sitting in his little corner chair in the hotel, while Joe just takes his podcast to fucking Pound Town. This was crazy when I was watching this. See, he legitimately tells this guy, hold on, shut the fuck up real quick. Jamie, pull that back up. Look at this picture on and as soon as he says it, Tim just goes, sure. Sure. Like, what are you fucking kidding? I would have been like, yo, dude, I know that we're in your studio, but come on, dude. This is my show that we're supposed to be doing here. You're supposed to be helping me out.
The shit.
It's new.
New. Okay, so top of the food chain, right?
Yeah.
And that's what he saw.
Jamie, there's also a video of somebody from a plane, and they're seeing these orbs in the sky above the clouds.
Now watch, look, I love this because Tim, he's got his hand going. He's like, Jamie, I'm gonna tell you, pull up the one thing that I got going on over here. I want to see the thing over here. And Tim thinks that he's really got like some balls here now. He goes, now I'm telling Joe's producer what to do. This is crazy, right? And then Joe comes in, not so fast, bitch.
So there's like a lot of stuff that is lit up.
Could we, before you do that, could
Sure.
we just go back to that image again real quick?
Yeah, it's so weird.
That is crazy. That's
What the
that's
fuck
kind of
is that?
That's kind of freaking me out.
Look, and Tim has to sit there and try not to make it awkward. He goes, that's so weird. Yeah, what is that actually, now that you're bringing that up? Like, okay, like what the fuck is happening here? You know what I mean? Like, I'd be like, dude, this is my show. You gotta like calm this shit down. This isn't Joe Rogan, bro. So let's give it up for Tim Dillon getting his show completely cucked the fuck out by the powerful one, the JRE. So let's have a little bit more of a smoke break before we end up hopping into the next segment. And while we have that smoke break, I want to show you guys this little clip of Shane Gilly. That's gonna be funny. But let's have another little smoke break, a little couple puffs, and then we'll hop into that Shane Gillis segment. Thanks again for joining me on Lost Ox Media. Be sure to check out lostox.media for everything up to date with Lost Ox Media. Still can't believe Joe Rogan cucking the ever-loving dog shit out of Tim Dillon on his own goddamn special. Like, on his own podcast when he's talking about his own special, man. That is wild shit. Like, could you imagine? And that's the craziest part. Tim says to Joe, hey, Joe, can you do me a favor? I got this comedy special coming out. You know about it. You were bitching my team around in your club. Remember that? I'm going to need to promote this thing for when it comes out, right? So you think I could end up doing your podcast so I could get about 3 million clicks in 2 days and people will know about the special? And that's where the help comes in, right? That's why Joe wants to do this favor for Tim, only to end up cucking him on his own show. I thought that was rich. All right. So let's get into this Shane Gillis clip, right? I was telling you guys about. It's a good one to smoke too. Not really anything wild here per se, but I just thought this was probably one of the most cringe things I've ever seen. For someone as famous as Shane, as much money as Shane, as popular as Shane, whatever you want to say, as Shane, and as old as Shane. That was the one I was trying to go for. You heard me dragging on the list until I got to the point that I was trying to make. So you see someone as old as this guy, like fighting over shotgun. You're like, is this even real, right? It's probably like one of these barstool dudes ended up recording him during all of this shit. And I thought this was kind of cringe, man. Like, because this shit drags on like a lot longer than you'd like it to.
Make a scene. You made a scene. You created a scene. Dude, don't make a scene. Get the fuck in the back, dude. I'll kill myself in this job. I'll for real kill myself in this job. Why would you do that?
Yeah, you gotta get out. This is
Dude, you're gonna prove that you'll kill yourself.
You could hear the bussing with the boys in the background. You could hear them. This is who did them dirty. Imagine that. You hanging out with bussing with the boys. They record you during your finest hour. End up posting it on YouTube. That's good shit. So Shane Gillis sitting here going, you got to get out of the front seat, man. I'll kill myself, man. If you don't get out of the front seat, man, I'll fucking kill myself, bro. So that's rich shit right there. Like, that's something I was doing this in middle school. You know what I mean? I was fighting over shotgun, middle school, high school, shit like that. You go to get into your buddy's car, you're all racing from the front seat. It's like something out of MrBeast games. So now you got Shane in the middle of this Taco Bell drive-thru. Does he kill himself? Let's find out.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, you gotta get out. This is
Dude, you're gonna prove that you'll kill yourself. I'll pull you out of this car.
This is gonna get high school cold.
Pull him out, Shane.
I don't want to do that.
Shane, pull him out, dude. Body his ass. Body his ass, Shane.
Caleb, come on, dog. You gotta get out.
Come on, man. Let's be friends.
Hey, we gotta order.
Dude, we gotta order.
Oh, Caleb, bro.
Let's just be friends.
We're friends and we gotta order.
That's crazy.
I'm just realizing this is that Caleb dude from the fucking the Sunday Conversations. What the fuck? You know that Caleb dude? I don't know his last name. I always want to say Caleb Presley. But he's got a mustache like mine. He's got like long hair like Thor. He always has like these really short but awkward conversations with celebrities online. And during the conversation, there's always this really fat dude with no shirt on eating sundaes in the background. Why? Okay? So now this Caleb dude is trying to bitch Shane out of this shotgun seat. Does Shane win?
It's sure?
It's just a seat. It's a seat.
All right, that's cool.
It's a seat.
All right, I'll stand here.
Caleb, come on, dog. What are you doing?
Dude.
You sure? You sure you want to do this?
Imagine that. Imagine you're trying to get a fucking cheesy gordita crunch, right? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. You're just getting off of work at your shit job, you know? And you trying to get through this goddamn drive-thru, and Shane Gillis is holding up the fucking drive-thru line because somebody in the front won't give him shotgun. Imagine that. I'd get out there and pull out my goddamn gun. I would be like, if you boys don't make moves, I'm gonna, okay? I need tacos and I need them now. And you guys are really fucking this up for me.
Are you sure? Taco Bell drive-thru, dude. This is where you want to die?
Listen, listen how drunk Shane is. Shane's wasted as fuck.
I'll die.
What are they looking like?
It's PT Cruiser. There's a PT Cruiser behind us, gazing upon them. I'll die right now, dude. No, they fucking blew it, dude. I'd love to die in this Taco Bell drive-thru right now.
I told you we were gonna die tonight.
Shane would love to die in this Taco Bell drive-thru, man. They got a PT Cruiser sitting behind them right now. Is this real? If I was that PT Cruiser, I'd start backing up and ramming into the back of their car. I'd keep doing it over and over again until they actually fucking started moving. You cannot mess with me when I'm hungry like this.
Please, dude, don't make me fight you. I don't want to. I love you, bro. I feel. I would hate to do that.
Oh, he gets him.
Yo, that was
the funniest thing.
Obviously, I'm the best.
Let's give it up for baby boy Shane Gillis. Making a complete ass out of himself in the middle of a goddamn Taco Bell drive-thru. That's good shit. That's good shit. Imagine that. I'd be stunned if I saw that. I wouldn't even be like, what do people get? They get, what do they call that? I'm like honestly blanking on this. When you meet a celebrity, right? And you're like shocked. You're starstruck, that's it. I wouldn't even be starstruck in that bitch. I would actually be like pissed. I'd be like, dude, will you get the fuck out of here, bro? All right, so let's dive into a little bit of this Chrissy chaos. Chrissy being drunk as hell on his podcast, right? So this guy, he's talking a lot of shit this episode. And if you know anything about Chris, you know that he tends to flip-flop a lot with his confidence. And this tends to cause huge rifts in his family life. Let me explain to you. So he used to have like a really, really nice, almost mansion in the middle of like Staten Island, right? He was doing real good. Podcast was doing great. Just had a Netflix comedy special, selling tickets out the ass, right? So he's doing real nice. He buys this property less than a year in. This guy starts getting the craziest case of imposter syndrome you've ever seen. And when he does, he ends up uprooting his family, selling the house on Staten Island, and moving into like an apartment in Brooklyn or something, right? That was like 4 years ago, I want to say. Ever since that time, this guy has been bouncing his family around. House to apartment to house. Roaches over here. Landlord sucks over there. This guy's wife practically getting ready to leave his ass off of all of this crazy shit. You're too old to be making all of these like irrational decisions, bro. You gotta like, keep everybody in check. It's real selfish behavior. You're not thinking about your family, your daughter's school, her friends, none of that shit. You're just moving everybody around. And he's basically getting to the point to where like everybody in this guy's life is kind of starting to hate him. And he starts talking about that less than a minute into this podcast. Now check it. He's already got a glass of wine. He's ready to go. Look at this face. This face is going to get redder as the time codes go on. This glass of wine is never empty. Let's listen to what this drunk asshole has to say.
Even though he said he's willing to have a gout flare-up in the name of holiday season. We have a good episode for you today. It's just me solo. I asked Sam Morrill, I asked Mark Norman. They said they couldn't make it, but have no fear. The guests on Chrissy Chaos are going to get to another level because not only have we hired a booking person, a.k.a. Jasmine, is going to start fucking DMing you pieces of shit, and to get you into the podcast, but two, we're...
Look at that. I didn't even notice this until now. Look at how his producer, the two different angles that he's got, they're color graded completely fucking different than each other. Watch this. Look at how different these two frames are. Let's get to it. Come on, baby. Come on, Chrissy. Come on, Chrissy. Show me that goddamn frame. There we go. Look at this. Look at the contrast is different. His skin tone's different. The exposure's different. Now watch when you go into the next frame. What the fuck is this? Exposed like a motherfucker. Different color contrast. Everything's different in the goddamn frame. Let's give it up for the homeless pimp. Probably the shittiest producer in podcast history. Craziest thing is this guy works for like Discovery Channel or some shit. Like what's happening over there? Okay. So now we got Chris sitting here talking about how basically nobody wants to do his podcast, right? He's going to have his wife, Jazz, do the booking for the show, right? Think about that. Some fucking snippy Puerto Rican bitch from the Bronx calls up your phone. Hey, mister, what you gonna do the podcast? Huh? You gonna come over to the podcast? I'd be like, shut the fuck up, bitch. And then you go and say, oh, I can't make it. She threatens to like slash your tires or some shit. Like, that's what... Chris, I'm telling you, anytime you've ever seen him talk about his wife, who used to be his girlfriend, when you'd see her on the podcast when she was his girlfriend, bro, this guy would say something about a girl. She comes into the podcast, starts interrupting it, talking shit. Like, bro, we don't want to listen to you argue with your stupid Puerto Rican girlfriend on air. I'm sorry. And then think about it. You get a call from this random chick. She doesn't know how to talk to these people. She doesn't know probably anything when it comes to the logistics of it. Hey, do we got to get you an Uber, hotel rooms? But you hit her with like 3 things at once, she probably is going to fucking break. Like, so you getting your girlfriend in the mix, she's going to fuck the shit up. It's going to cause you more stress, it's going to cause more problems in your personal life. You can't do this kind of shit, right? So he's already fucking up with this. Then we get into this whole Chrissy life changes, bro. He's about to start talking about all these great changes that he's making in his life, right? It's about goddamn time. You've been fucking them all up for the past 4 years. Let's hear what you got for us.
Let me just be honest with you where I'm at as a person right now. I had some big changes in my life recently come up. Little nervous, okay? Here's the thing. I'm nervous about some decisions that I made and some upcoming things in my life. I'm very nervous about it. But there's an excitement in the nervousness. There's an excitement in saying, you know what? You're going to get out of your comfort zone here, okay? You're going to go for something. You're going to go for something that's outside of your comfort zone, and you're going to fucking try, dude. I feel excited about that, but I feel nervous because if it doesn't work out, I'm going to really be in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, like your wife's going to leave you? Is that what you're talking about? See, this is the type of shit. We don't know what the decision is, but I'll tell you right now, I bet you it's fucking, what do they call that? Impulsive. I bet you it's an impulsive decision with Logan Paul. Him and Logan Paul are going to start going into business together, and if that fucks up, no, I'm just kidding. I don't know if he's going into, I don't know what the fuck he's doing. But every time he ends up coming into these crosswords where he has to make these big decisions, he starts flailing like crazy and basically does everything he can to self-sabotage himself. This guy, one time, he sold out like some crazy theater that he never thought he could sell out, right? That's when he sold his house. Then he gets a Netflix special. This guy buys a $250,000 watch and starts showing up on podcasts with yellow Jeffrey Dahmer sunglasses. Every single time he ends up jumping over a hurdle, he comes into a complete identity crisis. And he starts making the most outlandish fucking moves you could possibly imagine and basically gambling with his personal security, like his life that he has at home. He starts gambling that shit away. And we're basically hearing him say that right now. I came into these decisions. If they don't work out, I'm pretty much through. So what's the decision? You getting more ads from your mom's house? Is your mom's house hooking you up with a booker? You know this guy actually works for Tom Segura now? All of his ads, all coming from your mom's house. This guy is Tom Segura's bitch.
Fucking try, dude. I feel excited about that, but I feel nervous because if it doesn't work out, I'm going to really be in trouble.
Yeah.
But I feel excited about the chance.
You know how they say 3 strikes you're out?
Yeah.
You're going into like the 4th inning.
Dude, I've struck out twice, and
twice.
No,
I mean, you've struck out like 7 times.
So see, even his producers are like, bro, every other week, you're striking out, bro. Every other week. Now, remember I told you guys earlier that they end up rehashing the history hyenas, right? Look at how big of a piece of shit Chris is. Chris and Giannis Pappas, they start this podcast called History Hyenas, right? And it's basically them two acting like fools, but they're talking about history. So they're trying to put a little bit of a fun spin on it. I'll tell you right now, it's the most ADD, like a kid on crack shit that you've ever seen. Like, you don't know what's going on half the time. A lot of the history lessons that they talk about, they don't know what the fuck they're even saying. It's all inside jokes. Like, if you weren't a day one listener, you wouldn't know what the hell's going on. And if you're a day one listener, you're probably retarded. That shit. Listening to an episode of History Hyenas is like listening to one of those radio drops where they're like, you're listening to K3105, one boom, yeah, and it has all those different noises playing at the same time. That's what listening to an episode of History Hyenas is like. So they start that show. It starts to gain traction. They actually start getting pretty popular, and they get to a point to where like they're one of the bigger Patreons at the time, right? And then Chris starts doing good in his comedy career, a lot better than Giannis is. And he starts linking up with characters like Sal Vulcano from the Impractical Jokers, right? So then Sal's dumb round ass goes, hey man, we just started a podcast called Hey Babe, right? And Chris sees, oh, this guy's a way bigger star than Giannis. I should start a podcast with him. So they end up going into it together. And what happens when they start Hey Babe? Chris practically spits in Giannis's face and leaves him hanging by the wayside. I thought this was fucked up. caused a huge rift in their friendship. They didn't talk for like years after that. Because nobody could think you guys had so many Patreon subscribers. They were making like $200,000 a month on Patreon. Okay, well, what do you got to throw that away for? Chris saw dollar signs, and he fucked up the momentum. And now that Chris's momentum is coming downward, he's not doing Hey Babe anymore. This guy just got done outsourcing his ads to Tom Segura's network, Your Mom's House. This guy can't make a right decision to save his fucking life. Okay? And now all this shit's coming to a head. He goes knocking on Giannis's door. Hey, man, you want to start up History Hyenas again? And Giannis don't got shit going on. I'm talking like he has nothing going on. Nothing. So Giannis has no choice. He goes, I mean, yeah, we might as well see if we can get some money out of this, right? Come to find out, Chris is so excited about this fucking them restarting this show, right? Only to find out that his producer and the people around him, none of them even fucking listened to it.
Oh yeah, yes. Let me say, Vito, who has just told you that he was a big History Hyenas fan. He's a good friend of mine now. We've been working together for it's got to be coming up on 2 years. We've known each other for close to 10. He's a big comedy fan in the comedy world. History Hyenas has been back for 2.5 months. He hasn't listened to a single second of the new show. The Second Reich, as we call it. And that, after I literally fucking took this guy out for a Christmas dinner, gave this guy a Christmas bonus, he's like, by the way, here's a picture of my open asshole that says, I don't listen to History Hyenas, bitch.
Dude, he probably tried. I'm not even kidding. He probably actually tried. He probably gave it a good shake. And nobody gave a fuck. Like, I'm telling you, you try it. Try it for yourself. I fucking dare you. Go and play an episode of History Hyenas. Don't do it now. Finish this one out. You do not leave. But after this, go ahead and try one out. Try an episode on for size. See if you can make it through 5 fucking minutes of that shit. It's crazy, dude. It's insane. It's like listening to like 10 car crashes at the same time. It will send you into a tailspin. So now listen to this. We just got done talking about good old JRE, right? Chrissy's about to talk about how him and Giannis, to help promote History Hyenas, they went on Joe Rogan. Now, you just heard me talk about the way that these episodes work, right? These History Hyenas episodes. You can't do that kind of shit on JRE. You can't go in there and just start talking crazy, talking out of turn, not letting Joe get his words in, saying like crazy outlandish ass jokes with inside jokes that only you two know. It doesn't work on Joe. It's never going to work on Joe. It especially doesn't work on Jamie. Jamie's like has no soul. So it's not going to work on either of these two. And Chris talks about how he goes on JRE and him and Giannis try pulling this shtick, their History Hyenas shtick on Joe. Joe does not put up with any of it. They bomb the entire time. And get this. They recorded the episode. Joe still hasn't put it out yet. Not at the time of them recording this, and not at the time of me recording my episode. It's still not out. They don't even know if Joe's gonna use it. Listen to this.
Let's hope Joe Rogan's show is out right now.
Well, it ain't. I'll tell you right now, it ain't. I'm telling you. As a matter of fact, let's do this. Let's go to Joe's channel. Let's double check it. I want to do a fair shake on this. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. We will go to Joe's channel and we will check out to see if the show is on there. So I like that. When Joe left YouTube, somebody swiped his fucking username, right? So now all he could get was powerful JRE. Listen to that. That's such dog shit. So now we're in the video section. We're going to go to the video section. Nothing. You got 2 weeks ago, Bert Soren, Julian Lennon 12 days ago, Ryan Graves 11 days ago, Rod Blagojevic or whatever the fuck, however you say that, 10 days ago, James Fox, Duncan Trussell, and now you got Michael Waddell. I don't see History Hyenas anywhere on that bitch. So what does that say? You bombed. You bombed so hard, as a matter of fact, Joe ain't even going to put the fucking episode out. Listen to this.
Let's hope Joe Rogan's show is out right now.
Well, we can just save that for the next episode because we should wrap this one up soon anyway.
Okay, let's wrap it up. And I'm going to tell you on the next week's episode all about Joe Rogan because it was, let me tell you, here's the thing with Joe Rogan is it's difficult to be in the moment, like in the chair, do it. Me and Giannis had some swings at jokes. Like, dude, Giannis made a Wegovy joke that like bombed so hard that like I had to bring it up and be like, that bombed hard. And then Joe was like, yeah, man. Yeah.
Dude, imagine that, dude. Imagine, dude, cause Chris, like, and Giannis, they don't have a good relationship with Joe. So it's not like they could be, oh man, that was a bummer. You know, you think we could do it again like next week or something like that? Like scrap that. Joe's gonna be like, no, man, I don't got time for that, man. I gotta hang out with like Tony Hinchcliffe, bro. You know? So they don't have that lifeline the way Shane Gillis, Mark Norman, Tony Hinchcliffe, you know, O'Brien, all of these people that hang out with Joe and Austin, they don't got it like that. So imagine Chris goes on there. He's the more popular comedian. Practically has to vouch for Giannis to even step in the building, right? Giannis comes in there with the goddamn Wegovy joke, which, if you don't know, Wegovy is basically like Ozempi's, right? So he goes in there and makes a Wegovy joke. Joe's bald ass has never heard of Wegovy. Completely bombs. Crickets. To the point to where your friend / co-host has to sit there and acknowledge it to double down on your fucking bomb. And then Joe Rogan has to sit there and go, yeah, man, that was a pretty big bomb, man. You fucking suck, man. Imagine that. Imagine being Giannis Pappas right now and getting your fucking soul crushed live on JRE. Yes.
Like I had to bring it up and be like, that bombed hard. And then Joe was like, yeah, man. Yeah. and then I swung with a joke, like doing like a full Korean accent that like just bombed, like sweat dripping down my back. And Giannis was like kicking me under the table, like dying laughing. Like we were bombing. But at the end, I said, you know, Joe was like, I'm so happy to see History Hyena's back. Joe actually said, it goes, it's one of my favorite podcasts. I was like, oh, wow, thanks. And then I said, you know what? We're happy to have it back. I said, you know, anyone out there, you know, you're listening to us on YouTube right now. We've been demonetized on YouTube. We don't know why. We're trying to fight. We only can have another chance to get reinstated come this February. So we have to stay within the lines and really kind of just be goody two-shoes and not give you the comedy that you deserve because we want to get remonetized on YouTube. So if you want to see the comedy.
All right, I'm not even going to let him finish. Before we end this segment, I just want to explain to you how big of a crock of shit that is. I feel like this is Chris and Giannis's way of trying to like convince the chat because they do live premieres just like I do for my show, right? So they have the pre-recorded episode. They premiere it on the day that they're premiering it, and they can sit there and live chat with you guys like I do. And I'll talk to you guys during the show while it's playing out. So they do that same thing. Now, I don't promote any like super chats or anything like that. You guys, I'll take your money. That's fine. You know, this show's got to make money somehow. You'll never see me on here going, please donate, please blah, blah, blah. You're never going to hear that bullshit come out of my mouth. You want to go to the site and buy a hoodie or something like that, you get something out of that. You get nothing out of giving me $5 to say like, hey, what's up, dude? And it gets like pinned on the screen for a little bit. That's bullshit, right? These guys, I feel like them coming up with this whole demonetization story is them trying to get you to sign up for the Patreon, to give them super chats, to do this, to try to bring the show back. These two got to be hurting for money. There's no other excuse because YouTube does not demonetize people like that. You might get 3 strikes, something along those lines. They might demonetize or delete your channel, but they don't just come in and like demonetize a whole channel. They don't just come in and go, your channel is so crazy that you can't make any money ever. Because if that was the case, my channel would not be able to get monetized. It's monetized. You know how they do it? They go video by video. When you upload a video, they scan it. YouTube will scan your video once it's uploaded, and they will go, hey, do you agree that this is on the community guidelines to where we could put ads on it? And of course, you're always going to say yes. At least I do. I lie. And then I say yes, and then YouTube will scan my video, and they'll go, nah, you lied, and they will demonetize the video, right? They basically will suppress the amount of money that I can make on it. They'll demonetize it if it gets copywritten, things like that. It's on a video-to-video basis. When you get YouTube channel strikes, then they will possibly delete your channel and all associated channels with it. I've never heard a case of YouTube going, your channel is so bad that we would still very much like you to post videos and risk you posting more bad videos, but we won't pay you for it. No. They're either just going to X you out or they're going to fucking demonetize a video. They don't just slap the whole channel with a blanket thing. So when you see a guy like this, drunk, looking fucking crazy as fuck, desperate as shit, lying to you about how his YouTube channel is demonetized, that's something that we just cannot let fly here. But I will applaud him for giving it a shot. Let's give it up for good old Chrissy Chaos and trying to get that History Hyenas money back. You know what I mean? I hope it works out for you, buddy. We're all praying. So let's end up ending this episode on Joe List's appearance on Stavi's World. I'm actually going to play some H3 tunes for this one. So, you guys, a couple of you have been like commenting on my videos, asking me to cover Stavi. And it's not that I didn't want to or anything. He just kind of just never made it across my desk. I finally decided to give the people what they want. When I saw Joe List, a character like Joe List, going on a show like Stavi's World, I had to tune in to see what kind of bullshit would come out of it. And trust me, there's some bullshit. So, right out the rip, you're going to see Stavi looking crazy as hell. Joe and Stavi are going to be talking about raping Joe's kids. Stavi's going to be picking shit off of his body. They're going to be sitting there. Joe's going to be bitching about not having anything to drink. There's just so much crazy stuff in this goddamn episode. I cannot hold you too much longer. Let's start to tone down this music a little bit. And we're just going to get right into the intro. Because even right from the rip with the intro, they're talking about ridiculous shit. Check this out.
Opa! Welcome everybody to Stavi's World.
Hold up. I fucking forgot, dude. Holy shit. Look at this guy. Bro, is this even real right now? What the fuck? Someone please call 911, cause Stavi looking insane right now, dude. This guy is looking puffier than usual. And that's saying a lot coming from this Michelin man looking fuck. Like, this guy's already fat as hell. So you throw this extra bloated bullshit on here, he looks insane. Like, he doesn't look like he normally looks. I'm telling you. Think of you yourself at home, pull up a picture of Stavi and then look at this goddamn frame. That ain't the same dude, okay? I'm going to tell you right now, that ain't the same dude. He looks hungover as hell, looks like he just got done doing a bunch of goddamn coke. As a matter of fact, he looks like a fat Shih Tzu. Like, we got to be able to find a picture of a fat Shih Tzu online. There has to be a picture of a fat Shih Tzu that looks like Stavi. Please tell me these are all regular ass looking Shih Tzus. There has to be a fat one in here somewhere. You trying to tell me there's no fat Shih Tzus? This one's kind of fat. Oh, that's close. We're getting closer. We're almost there. There we go. There we fucking go.
Ladies and gentlemen,
We got him. Dude, look at this picture of this fat Shih Tzu, right? Then look at this frame of Stavi. I mean, come on. They look exactly the fucking same. So we're not off to a good start with this episode.
World 904-800-STOP. Call in. We'll solve your problems on this beautiful Monday of Christmas week. In fact, Elvis, why don't you play us a little something different? Maybe. Yeah, isn't that nice?
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
The kids are, you're out there buying your last minute gifts.
I ain't bought nothing.
Well, you're fine. Your son he doesn't know what the hell's going on.
Well, we got the boys' gifts.
Okay.
Sarah did that.
Okay, that's good.
My money. My friend Derek has a funny point, and I
look at this asshole, dude. Have you ever seen a more hateable person in your entire life? Like, I'm being so serious right now. I'm 100%. Like, I joke around a lot in this show. This is the character. I mean, if you haven't caught on to that by now, like, if you think I'm running around in my everyday life acting like this big of an asshole, you're fucking stupid. I joke around a lot, okay? I'm being 100% serious when I say that I will skull fuck this guy until there's nothing left. This is the most hateable man. I honestly feel this way. Like, if you're looking at him and hate doesn't immediately wash over your entire body and soul, like, there has to be something wrong with you. There has to be. It's crazy how much, like, he looks like the biggest nerd. When you watch, like, a movie, someone's getting picked on, stuffed in a locker, it's always this. It's always this that you see. All the time. You can't have a gun, kid. You'll shoot your eye out. This looks like a Christmas story. You'll shoot your eye out, Joe List.
I always laughed at it. And I'm like, oh, he's such a hilarious asshole. But now I feel it. He's like, every Christmas, he's like, can you just put me down for, like, the house and the cars and everything, the health insurance? Like, just put my name on that. Like,
That's my gift. That's my gift to you, you fucking thankless whore.
You ungrateful fucking bitch.
I work every day as a...
God, dude, Stavi looking rough off of the tires, dude. Dude, I'm telling you. Shane Gillis gave this guy one role in a fucking Netflix show, and now he's going off the rails. This guy looks like he drank so much and did so much goddamn coke last night. He looks insane, bro. This guy looks real he looks real bent out of shape here.
A present. Every day you draw breath is a gift.
Every fucking week, I gotta go a couple blocks and talk about whether or not I would or would not eat my dad's cum. And I work hard.
Are you serious right now? This is what I'm talking about with him being like the most hateable fucking guy. Like, they're making jokes about, like, Joe's wife spending his money for Christmas. Okay, big whoop, bro. She's your wife. Get over it. And then as soon as he goes, man, I gotta tell her about how I'm making all this money. And then this is what he comes out with. This is crazy.
Every day is a present. Every day you draw breath is a gift.
Every fucking week, I gotta go a couple blocks and talk about whether or not I would or would not eat my dad's cum. And I work hard.
I work hard in the podcasting.
That's the comedy that we're gonna expect out of these two. So get used to it. I'm telling you right now, get ready. Because we're going to be talking eating dad's cum, raping babies. Dude, I can't say too much in one shot. Let's give it a couple seconds. We're also going to be talking about jizz. See, you can't say these things all together. YouTube, you got to give it a couple seconds in between the word fuck and shit and all that. So, we can't be caught lacking. So now listen. Right out the rip, you already know Joe's sitting there going, I got to talk about whether or not I'm going to eat my dad's cum, you know what I mean? Like, this guys, they can't come up with anything funnier than that. They just got to shock you with this, like, gross bullshit, right? And then, right out the rip, already, we're talking about R&Bs, you know what I mean? They're going to talk about doing some real slapsticky type shit to Joe's baby. Listen to this.
Ooh.
Ooh, you carried the baby. Ooh, I'm carrying him now.
That's right.
You carried him for 9 months. I carried him for 9 hours at a party.
That's so true, man. He's cute as hell.
Yeah, he's sweet. He's fun.
Yeah,
he
it's
likes
nice.
you. You know, I think it's you and Karen were the first 2 visitors, and I think that it lingers.
He can tell.
remembers.
He can tell.
Feel it.
No, he's I do think babies like me because I look like a giant baby. I have baby features, baby characteristics.
Yeah.
I make them feel comfortable.
I think you're right.
I think Stavi's onto something here. Stavi does look like a fat, hairy baby. Like I couldn't have said it better myself. I'm sitting here trying to make a joke to add on to it. That was good enough. There was no fat on that at all. Pun intended.
But I do feel bad. I should provide a service where I betray babies' trust so they know. Because I'm the only guy that looks like me that a baby should trust. You know what I mean? I don't want more.
See, he's the only guy that looks like a pedophile that isn't a pedophile. That's what he's saying. Because every other guy that you meet that's like as tall as Danny DeVito, as bald as Danny DeVito, but somehow fatter than Danny DeVito, 9 times out of 10, that kid's touching babies, right? So that's where he's coming up with this joke. He goes, not every guy who looks like me should be trusted around babies. So I should actually provide a service to where I help these babies realize what it's like in the real world by diddling them. Okay, let's hear it out of his mouth.
Oh, because I'm the only guy that looks like me that a baby should trust. You know
Right.
what I mean? I don't want Marty to see me and be like, balding guys with these kinds of glasses.
These are the good guys, yeah, with
These
the
are the good
mustache.
guys.
Yeah.
So it's going to break my heart. I'm going to have to, at some point, I'm going to have to treat your son like Harry and the Hendersons, where they yell at him at the end
Or
so
you
that
got-
they hate him.
See, this is the thing, though. As Stavi's making the joke about it, right? But Joe looks like a way crazier pedophile than Stavi does. Like, so Joe is sitting there like, oh, you don't even have to provide the service. He's like, I'm already touching my kid every goddamn night, man. Don't even worry about it. All the molestation, we got it covered over in the List household. So it's cool, man. Me and my good old buddy Mark Norman, comedy, you know him? Yeah, we're over there. We're really putting the works on my goddamn baby at home, He looks like the craziest pedophile. Imagine you're a baby. You're born into this world. You have no say in the matter, right? You didn't choose to fucking be here. You didn't choose where you came from, right? And then you come out the womb. You're like, you see the light. You're thinking to yourself, this is going to be fucking glorious, dude. I'm finally out of the womb. I'm going to get to see the real world. And then you got to come into and this is your dad. You got to stare at this asshole every fucking day. I would kill myself as a baby. I would tie the umbilical cord around my neck. I would kill myself. I'd be like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I'd be like, put me back in there and don't let me come out until we reach West Africa. I'd rather live in the slums. I'd rather live in the poorest parts of Africa than live in this bullshit. Nothing against black people. It just happens to be Africa's very poor. I could have said India. It's very poor over there too. Okay? So don't get fucking crazy. Okay, Joe looks like a pedophile. Stavi's a pedophile. They're about to rape Joe's baby. Listen to this.
These are the good guys. So it's going to break my heart. I'm going to have to, at some point, I'm going to have to treat your son like Harry and the Hendersons, where they yell at him at the end
Or
so
you
that
got-
they hate him.
Like just a light where it's not like devastating, but it lets them know.
This is not a good guy.
Yeah.
You tell me. I'm not going to, you tell me how
Well, just something.
There you go. So now they're blocking all the words out. Joe's like, yeah, you just go in there, you give my baby a little light molesting. Nothing crazy, nothing too heavy, a light molestation. That's all we need. And then Stavi over here, they're bleeping out his shit. He goes, oh, yeah, no, of course. You would tell me how to rape your baby. Okay? That's how the service works. You come in, we provide 1,000% guaranteed satisfaction. Like, we're going to rape your baby just right. So don't worry about it, okay? That's kind of the conversation that they're having here. They're bleeping all this shit out. You guys are supposed to be comedians. All I see is 2 pussies that look like pedophiles.
Like just a light Where it's not like
Sure.
devastating, but it lets them know.
This is not a good guy.
Yeah.
You tell me. I'm not gonna. You tell me.
Oh, just something. Show me on the doll.
There you go.
Maybe with a Q-tip.
No.
Just Merry Christmas.
Yes.
All right. Cut.
Raping the baby with
Beep the-
raping the baby with the Q-tip. That's nice. That's nice. That's real nice. Let's go back to a frame of Joe, right? Let's go back to a frame of Joe so I can really fucking contextualize this for you. I'll tell you right now. I wouldn't rape Joe List's baby if you fucking paid me, okay? I would not do it. Because I could only imagine what kind of woman dates a guy like this, right? And then I could really only imagine what kind of baby that him and that woman make. This thing probably came out looking like a deformed freak. Like a mix between the kid from A Christmas Story and The Hills Have Eyes. That's what I'm picturing in my mind. When I picture what Joe List's baby looks like, so you couldn't pay me any amount of money to diddle this goddamn baby. And if you think that providing a service to do it is going to make it, I mean, this is Joe List's baby we're talking about. Okay? Wait. Hold on. This bit's getting out of hand. No babies getting diddled around here, all right? Chill. Joe List is ugly as fuck. That's the point that we're trying to make here. So now, look, as soon as they get done talking about this, they end up dissing on Dave Portnoy, all right? We don't like that over at Lost Docs Media. We just got done celebrating Dave's time on BFFs, and we gave him a nice little send-off, because that's how we respect Dave around here. We love him, okay? There's nobody more boomered out than Dave Portnoy. So when I heard these two dissing him, oh, I wasn't ready for that.
Times more money.
Yeah, I don't really spend money on anything, to be honest with you. I
can look at you.
Not
like me with my free bar stool.
Yeah, at least I'm wearing clothes I purchased.
I always find out, like, I don't know anything about bar
Yeah, I
stool.
know
I've never
that.
listened. I'm like, am I just wearing like a swastika and I don't realize it?
No, they're not that bad, but it is funny to be constantly. You wear that so much for someone who does not listen to Barstool at all.
I don't know literally anything about Barstool. I've been to KFC and
I like
that's it.
PMT.
I know the
pardon
guy.
my take. Those guys are awesome.
I know the guy.
See, that's how big of a Jew Joe List is. He's like, he won't even spend money on his own goddamn clothes. He's sitting there bitching about how his wife's just spending up all his shit. You remember that? You remember when he was like, I gotta go 2 blocks. I gotta talk about eating my father's cum, and that's how we're making money. And you're sitting here spending it all up on Christmas. Meanwhile, this guy's wearing a hand-me-down sweater from Barstool. He doesn't even know what Barstool is.
Eats pizza, and I think he's like a Republican.
Yes.
What's his name? Portnoy. Dave Portnoy.
Oh, watch it. Watch it, boys. You better fucking watch it.
And I think he's like a Republican.
Yes.
What's his name? Portnoy. Dave Portnoy.
It is hilarious to be like, I'm the guy who eats pizza. It's like, what? That's what you're proud of, that you like pizza?
Excuse me, motherfucker. Yo, dude, this guy, I'm about to get real Dave Portnoy fangirl right now. He doesn't just do the pizza, bro. He's giving money to struggling businesses. During COVID, he was giving out grants to small businesses all across the country, man. This guy was the only one really fighting for these motherfuckers while the government was shutting us all down. Come on, man. This is Donald Trump rhetoric. I thought all you comedians were on the side of the right now. I thought you guys were the alt-right now, okay? You should know this shit. He's running the fuck out of Barstool, bought the company back for $1, bro. Who sells the company and then buys it back for $1? That's how bad the company that bought it from him, that's how bad they were fucking it up. They were like, dude, we will do anything for you to take this off of our tax sheet. Please, bro. He's like, I'll buy it back for $1. He's like, yeah, dude, take it. That's how bad. They almost ran the company into the fucking ground. Dave brought it back. He brought it back. So we're not just talking one bite pizza bullshit. And then who's this guy to talk? Coming in looking like a fat shih tzu. This guy can barely open his fucking eyes. He's legitimately has a chip in his tooth. So that's okay. So Dave is known for eating pizza, right? And you're known for being fat as fuck. What's the difference? What are we talking about here? That's great. It's crazy to be known as the fat fuck comedian. That's what I hear when I go, oh man, it's crazy to be known for one bite pizza. But the guy's got like almost $1 billion. It's crazy to not even be a millionaire and be a fat fuck comedian who wears Italian mobster chain necklaces. This guy is the biggest Greek piece of shit you've ever seen.
What? That's what you're proud of, that you like pizza? That's fucking stupid. But hey, that guy has somehow become like a billionaire off of like, his blog. So hats off, I suppose.
Yeah. Hats on. Santa hats.
That's right. Santa hats on this beautiful.
Okay, shut the fuck up. Let's get. I can't do this. You can't talk about Dave this way, okay? Dave's my honey boo. Dave is my honey boo. Now watch this. Look, I'll show you guys this real quick. Stavi sitting there talking all that shit about Dave, right? I'll tell you one thing Dave don't do. Dave doesn't sit there and pick at his goddamn body in the middle of the goddamn podcast. Watch this. Stavi starts picking stuff off pulling shit out of his fat folds and shit like that. He pulls like a cheeseburger out of one. He's got stuff in between his fingernails. He's the most disgusting fat fuck you've ever met. Look at this.
Fucking like do regimented bullshit. I could never do it.
No, I've tried to do like multiplication recently with the X and the carry and the number, and I was like, I don't know. Or division. Like I know how to make the thing, but then I'm like, I don't know. It's
Watch
crazy.
him. Pay attention.
Oh, we have calculators.
We have calculators. Even like I guess I could probably write an essay pretty easily. That's the one thing I'm better at. I could write a 5-paragraph. Like that's hilarious to think about how much you were sweating 5 paragraphs. But any math or science or having to sit there for a long time. Although maybe
look, it starts with the nose pick, right? Now, I'm not completely. I've wiped my nose. I can't have a fan on when I'm recording in here. I wear a hoodie. I'm ready to start sweating my ass off, and I do my hair for these things. So the shit starts getting frizzy. It starts getting all crazy. I can't have that. So we got to be looking top notch in this bitch. So I get it. Your nose might run. You're a little hot. You got to wipe it. I understand that, okay? That I let you slide on.
Like that's hilarious to think about how much you were sweating 5 paragraphs. But any math or science or having to sit there for a long time.
Huh?
Although maybe I'd get jacked. Now I'm convincing myself again. Yeah, it would be cool. But then you wouldn't have any of your friends. None of your...
Well, there's the first one.
Your pals.
Right.
I would leave Eldest in the dust. I was confused by
and he just throws it off to the side. What the fuck? What the fuck? Look at this. So he picks his nose with one hand. He starts fucking going all crazy. He's pulling shit out of his fat neck folds. Takes a look at it. Balls it up in his fingers a little bit. He goes, oh, that's a nice one. He throws it off to the side. Keeps talking. Of course, a disgusting little freak like Joe List, they just got done talking about raping this guy's baby. He don't care. He thinks nothing of it. Stav just pulls this move off, goes by completely untalked about.
Your pals.
Right.
I would leave Eldest in the dust. Eldest would be confused by how that would be so funny if one of us went back in time.
Oh, God, I can't take it. I'm sorry. That's bad right there. That is disgusting. I can't do it. Now, look, I told you guys how gross these two were. I told you how disgusting these guys were. They're about to prove it. Stavi's going to continue to pick on his body, right? In the middle of this goddamn show. And this is, I'm not even kidding, this is less than 2 minutes later. He starts picking at himself again, right? And then they start getting into a conversation about how both of them love eating ass.
Just dummy.
They love it. They love eating that ass. And now I understand where Mark Norman gets it from. Because Mark Norman and Joe List are like best friends. So remember we were talking Mark Norman, he's got a girl forcing his ankle or his fucking ankles behind his neck. And she's eating his ass out. Like it's a fucking plate of fried rice. She's in there, right? Mark doesn't know what to do. He's getting his ass eaten to smithereens, right? I get where Mark gets that from because Joe is one of those like ass-eating fools. I'm telling you, these guys love it. Listen to this.
Views on YouTube. It would be dwarfed by Stavi's world. Be like, yeah, the song's okay, but did you see Stavi?
Look at him picking at his body still. Watch this. This guy. I'm telling you. Look at this.
Stavi's world.
Still going.
Be like, yeah, the song's okay, but did
What you
see
got there,
Stavi?
Stavi? Did you like pick a zit or something like that? You disgusting fuck. What? Listen to this ass-eating talk.
He talked about eating a lady's ass out on Thanksgiving. If that's appropriate or not.
You can't do that on Thanksgiving. You can't be eating ass on Thanksgiving. That's one of the worst days to eat ass.
How do you know? You have an experience in that? You shouldn't be eating ass at all, my friend. I'm telling you. If you're eating ass, skip to the next video. Okay? You can't be eating ass over at Lost Docs Media. We don't do that. We're not eating ass over here, all right? These guys, the jamokes, they eat the ass. We keep the ass pure, okay? Nothing in, nothing out. I don't even shit, all right? My ass has never been opened ever, not once, all right? It's never been opened. I haven't shit in 35 years, all right? So when I hear these guys talking about getting the tongue jammed straight in there, or them jamming tongues in other people's asses, it kind of throws me off a little bit.
You can't be eating ass on Thanksgiving. That's one of the worst days to eat ass. Oh, the brave souls who've attempted ass eating after 2 full plates.
I haven't eaten ass in a long time. My wife doesn't want me to eat her ass.
Ooh, my wife doesn't want me to eat her ass. Now you hear how sad Joe sounds about this. Joe sounds like, listen, I see Joe's wife.
Is that really your fucking wife, dude? Yikes.
Hey, bro, that's fucking William Montgomery right there, baby. I bet you Joe's wife looks like shit. And then Joe's so sad that she won't let him eat her ass.
That's a shame.
I want to get in there.
I
You
think
like eating ass?
He wants to get in there. Okay. These are the type of heathens that we're dealing with. I told you this shit was going to happen. You didn't believe me. And now we have to go through it. Listen to this.
In a long time. My wife doesn't want me to eat her ass.
Oh, that's a shame.
I want to get in there.
I
You
think
like eating ass?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun.
It's a little dry. It's nice. Yeah. It's drier than a pussy, which is kind of yucky.
Yeah, something about the asshole excites me sexually more than a pussy. I don't know what it is.
The only thing that sucks is this. I wish there was like something hanging down that you could kind of, while you're eating it, you could
Something
kinda
like a stress ball.
tug on.
Something you can tug
Yes. So Joe over here, he wishes that his wife had a whole full dick, right? So like this guy is basically gay. You know, he doesn't like to eat vajays and he wants to eat ass. He wishes that there was like a trumpet style, you know, some sort of appendage in the front. You know, that's why they call it a rusty trombone. It took me so long to realize that. That's like they call it the rusty part is the butthole, right? And then you play in the trombone with the guy's thing, right? But Joe List, come on, man. Joe List, he's basically trying to do the rusty trumby to his wife. He wants to do this. And now he's got me acting it out on the goddamn screen. What am I doing with my life?
Yeah, something to take your attention.
You know what I mean? That would be cool.
Now that would be really cool.
If there was a little more hair on it, that would be kind of nice.
Okay.
That's the kind of thing I think about.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to push the envelope with that one. You guys are real fucking trailblazers talking about eating ass. I never heard a joke about that, you know? And then to think, let's just talk about it and then try to be as gross as we can with it. That'll make people laugh. Pfft, what are you, fucking stupid? So now listen to this. We're going to end this little segment on this part here, right? Joe Rogan, right? The first time I ever heard of Joe List was from an episode of Joe Rogan. So Joe List, like, this was like a couple years ago, maybe like 3 years ago. Joe List had starred in a movie that was directed by Louis C.K. Another one of those comedians who likes to do the creepy. The creepy. This guy, Louis C.K., he likes to jerk off in the room when, like, women are sitting around next to him. They have no way of getting out. He goes, he wants to, like, jerk off on him or something like that. Louis crazy. I respect it. So, Joe List starred in a movie that was directed by Louis C.K. When Louis was getting ready to premiere the movie, he and Joe had gone on and did an episode of Joe Rogan. Just like we saw how Tim's promoting like his special a little bit. He's kind of doing like a soft promote. He's like, we don't have a date yet, but get ready. We're going to, get on here, and then I'm going to be on Joe Rogan again. So it's kind of like that same thing. They get ready to premiere the movie. Louis C.K. and Joe List show up on Joe Rogan. I have no idea who Joe List is. At the time, Joe was so self-conscious about being on that episode of JRE. All he could do was talk about it. It seemed like every 5 minutes, he was like, am I doing a good job? Like on the show, that him and Joe and Louis are like, bro, just chill. We're talking, bro. Chill. Like, what the fuck? He's like, oh, I don't know. I'm just so nervous. We got this movie coming out. And the whole time, he's sitting there actually bringing up the fact that he's nervous and doesn't know what to talk about on the show. He's bombing. Just as bad as the History Hyenas boys were, Joe List is bombing. In front of a legend like Louis C.K. and in front of a short asshole like Joe Rogan. That's some shit. So right now, Joe List is about to talk about that bomb. How he had said this joke and it had went over not only Joe's head, but over Louis' head. Now that makes you think. 2 different sets of comedians go and bomb on the Joe Rogan show. Is it the comedians or is it Joe? It's both. They all suck. So that's the answer here that we're looking for. Listen to this guy talk about how him, Joe, Louis C.K., they all couldn't get on the goddamn same page. Joe List is bombing on JRE. Listen to this.
You know what? I forgot. Before we get into that,
Yes.
I brought a delicacy for you.
Please.
That's kind of my culture, and I'd like
can't
to.
wait. Yeah,
I'll be right back.
yeah,
because
yeah,
I think you're gonna like it.
I can't wait.
Hold on. Can you kill time without me?
Absolutely.
You'll be all right.
I'll be okay.
I did that bit at Rogan's show, and he was like, "Yeah, man," and I was like, "No, I know."
Yeah.
I was Rogan and Louis, and I was like, "Will you guys be all right if I'm not here?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "No, I know."
See, this is what Joe List is failing to leave out. When Joe List made that joke, because of how nervous he was to be on JRE, he sounded dead ass serious. Like, he goes to make the joke, Joe List goes to go to the bathroom, and Joe Rogan and Louis C.K. are going to be left to their own devices, right? So Joe List, as a joke, which is a little bit funny, right? You want to sit there, you have 2 juggernauts like Joe and Louis, you're going to go, hey, you guys are going to be able to handle the conversation. You guys are going to be able to carry the conversation on without me, right? I know you guys can barely do it on your own. It's like a little joke. He's like negging them to, right? But he sounds so serious because of how nervous he is that they both have to they're like, oh shit, this guy's like breaking down. They're like, yeah, no, dude, we'll be fine. Like, calm down. You can go to the bathroom. Like, they take it as like real because Joe's acting like a nervous pile of shit. That's why. And he doesn't understand that. It seems like he never even watched the episode back, or at least checked to see like if the way he thought it played out, if that was actually how he played out. You know what I mean? That's what this is saying to me.
Culture, and I'd like to.
I can't wait. Yeah,
I'll be right back. I think you're gonna like it.
I can't wait.
Hold on. Can you kill time without me?
Absolutely.
You'll be all right.
I'll be okay.
I did that bit.
See, Stavi laughed. Stavi goes, yeah, I'll be fine, dude. Chill.
Can't wait.
Hold on. Can you kill time without me?
Absolutely.
You'll be all right.
I'll be okay.
I did that bit at Rogan's show, and he was like, yeah, man. And I was like, no, I know.
Yeah.
I was Rogan and Louis, and I was like, will you guys be all right if I'm not here? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, no, I
know. Hilarious.
Good shit right there, dude.
Hopefully it's a roast beef sandwich.
Good shit. So let's give it up for Joe List not being able to take a hint and bombing on JRE, just like his good friends, the History Hyenas. And that's going to do it for this episode of Lost Ox Media. I'm about to play some tunes. As always, at the end of the episode, we like to play a little bit of music to get the mood right before we call it a night. You know what I mean? So, as always, I had such a great time hanging out with you guys on this very wonderful episode of Lost Ox Media. I always like to end the episodes talking about where you can listen to the show, right? We're changing a little bit of that plan here. I want to promote the merch, right? Promote the site. So be sure to catch anything Lost Ox Media. Stay up to date with merch, new episodes on YouTube, Spotify, and other platforms. You can follow us on all our socials, the whole nine. All that can be done at lostox.media. That's lostaux.media. New episodes of Lost Ox Media go up every Wednesday. Audio episodes go up on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else you catch your podcast at 5 a.m. And video episodes go up on Spotify and YouTube at 4 p.m. That's Eastern Time. And the reason why we do that is so that you can listen to the episodes on your way to work, and when you get home from work, you can watch them. Once again, that's lostaux.media. Catch us at lostox.media. Until next time, I bid you adieu. Goodbye.